This is Gio Woodley, the in-arena voice of the NBA G League's Osceola Magic, and you're listening to a presentation of Shreveport Mudbugs hockey. It's almost time to drop the puck. Let's send it ringside for the Landers Auto Group pregame show with the voice of the Mudbugs, Zach Grant.
22 hours ago, a comeback bid that fell just short. But tonight it's a new game as the Bugs team looks to get back in the win column and force a weekend split in a tied regular season series against the Ice Wolves. Hi again, everyone. Zach Grant coming to you live from the Outpost Ice Arena in Albuquerque, New Mexico as the Bugs finish week one of this two-week road trip. Thanks for coming along with us tonight. And welcome into the Mudbugs warm-up show driven by our friends at Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat. After a scoreless first period, the Ice Wolves struck for 4 middle frame goals. First from newcomer Jeremy Sprung at the 15:55 mark on the power play. Stanley Hubbard followed that up with 2 of his own, separated by 12 seconds to make it 3-0. Oscar Edberg added another in the final minute of the second to push the lead to 4-zip. It was all Bucks in the third, though. Duke Earhart scored the first Shreveport goal unassisted a minute and 9 seconds into the third period. That goal was his 19th of the season and his 5th goal in the third period in 3 games. Jared Griner picked up his 6th goal at the 8:59 mark with a helper from Vinny DiUlio, his 9th. Liam Wolf-Talby scored his 9th goal. He responded on the power play with another Bugs goal 40 seconds later to pull the Bugs back to within 1. Then with the net empty for the extra skater, New Mexico added another from Nyan Pai to bring the final tally to 5-3 in favor of the Ice Wolves. In that game, Tyler Hodges in his relief appearance, he gets saddled with the loss, dropping to 15, 12, 2, and 5, stopping 9 of the 10 shots he faced. Bugs looking to rebound after a tough loss last night, a chance to exact revenge coming up at 6:30 Mountain Time as we count this one down from the 5:05. Back in a moment here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Congratulations! You kept a plant alive another day. You deserve a refreshing reward. Introducing new Whataburgers from Whataburger. You finally returned a text. Thumbs up emoji. You hung up a shirt. You changed a light bulb. You walked the dog around the whole block. Attaboy, it's treat time. The new prickly pear raspberry Whataburger from Whataburger.
An icicle treat for every small feat. Whataburger.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
For the big, small, short, tall. For the thinkers and the doers. For old friends. Coca-Cola. For everyone.
Hey, this is Tyler Hodges, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network with Zach Grant and Duncan Welker. Now let's get back to the action.
Now back into the Landers warm-up show, sitting down with Bucks head coach Jason Soupy Campbell. Soupy, last night, crazy game. 4 goals for New Mexico in the second. Bugs battled back with 3 of their own in the third. Just came up a little bit short to come back after.
Yeah, overall, I just felt like the first period was just a blah period. We didn't take our game to them, they didn't take their game to us, and it just ended up that way. Just a nothing period, which then in the second period, we weren't ready to battle in those dirty areas, and that was an area that we needed to win if we wanted to win the game last night. We didn't take care of our net front. We had a couple of costly turnovers, and they threw a couple at the net that they got a rebound on one of them, and then and then one went off our skate right to their guy coming off the bench on the other one, and they buried those chances. Come the third period, our guys finally, came ready to play, and we reaped the benefits. We still came up short, but it's hard spotting a team 4 goals and coming back in one period of hockey, and these guys almost did it. That's sometimes the frustrating part, because you see we see how well we can play. It's just a matter of doing it for 60 solid minutes, and we didn't do it last night. It cost us.
It's a crazy game as well. In addition to all those, back and forth swings there, you won a challenge, which you don't get to see very often in North America.
Yeah, it's a good thing they challenged it, or that they reviewed it, because we could see it go in almost right away. Even I can, and I struggle at seeing that sometimes. But the guys knew right away, and we didn't even challenge it. They actually were going to look at it themselves. But it's a good thing that they saw what we saw.
You kind of mentioned a little bit earlier on, as you look at New Mexico, they had some not so stellar moments of their game, especially in that first period. As you mentioned, everybody was just kind of out there, and that's what it was. But what do the Bugs need to continue tonight to take advantage like they did in that third period?
We have to bring our game to them right from the start. We have to be hard on the forecheck, have good details, reloading. We have to be better in the D zone. We just have to win the dirty areas of the ice. We have to win the net front battles from both ends, win the wall battles, win the corner battles, and then we're going to possess the puck more. And then after that becomes puck responsibility time. So you can't turn it over. You got to be responsible with it and make good plays and execute.
This seems to be a common theme so far this season, but Mexico's power play, top 7 in the league, one of 4 South teams in the top 7. So we've seen a lot of great power plays. The Bugs did a decent job staying out of the box last night, cut off a couple of those penalties. What's the mindset going in as far as that goes tonight?
Well, their power play goals weren't really anything special that was set up. The one they threw at the net went off Van Gogh's skate and directed right over to their guy that just came on the ice, and he just put it in the net. Their first one was, it was kind of a set play, but they had it at the top. We had good coverage. They threw it really wide outside the dot lane and low, and it just one-timer that our goalie was there, Phillips was there, and Sen just found a way and squeaked in, But again, you got to put pucks at the net, right? You put pucks on net and at the net, then there's a chance that it's going to go in, and they found a way to bury those. But having said that, then the next power play, our PK did a good job, shutting them down, and did a good job at holding our blue line on their zone entries. But we just have to be ready. They're a power play unit that's going to throw a lot of pucks at the net. They do have a lot of set plays that they can execute on if you give them the time and space to do it. So our guys on the puck, we got to be in shot lanes, and then the guys away from the puck got to be ready to react away from the puck in that supportive role.
Now, looking back at last night into tonight, our friends at S&P Fire Protection would like to know whose fires we've got to put out on the ice for us.
Well, I got to go with Hubbard. He's not known as necessarily a big points guy, but his job on the power play is to be that net front guy. And he scored 2 goals. The first goal was right at the net front, and the second goal was coming off the bench, going towards the net. So we got to find a way to eliminate those opportunities and clear him out of there, and the rest of them for that matter, and not let them get these opportunities at the net. So I'll go with him on that one.
As we look at it again here throughout the course of the season, our power play special teams question of the week, who's been hot for the Bucks lately?
I'm going to go with Vincent Giulio. We did talk about our PK, and it's been pretty consistent all year. It's a slow start, but it's been pretty solid, and hopefully that keeps rolling. And Vinny's a big part of that. He's a good 5-on-3 guy, 4-on-3 guy, good on the face-off dot. He had a nice assist last night just by finding a way to put the puck at the net for a rebound and Griner going to the net. So he's just he's a guy that can really fly under the radar, but does a lot of good little things out there that can help a team win. And he's been very consistent, very steady for us, and to me that's pretty hot.
Absolutely. Thanks, Suki. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Zach.
Take a quick timeout. Back in a moment here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Did you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our Sweet the Swamp Pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a Sweet the Swamp Pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
This is Ramesses Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Back here from the outpost at Albuquerque, New Mexico, Bugs and Ice Wolves getting set for the rematch here this evening on this Saturday. And before we get to the opening puck drop, let's take a look now at our starting lineups.
Howdy, howdy, Zach Grant. Welcome to tonight's action. Let's take a look at the rest of the South Division as well as the standings real quick. Well, actually, we're going to take a look at the rest of the games. Lone Star, Oklahoma tied 0-0 at the first period, and then Amarillo and Corpus tied all at 1 as well in the first period. Now, let's take a look at those standings. We got a few seconds. Lone Star first up repeatedly. New Mexico second, El Paso third, Corpus Christi in fourth. Bugs still sit in fifth. Oklahoma sits in sixth, Odessa in seventh, and the Amarillo Wranglers down there in eighth. Now we're going to move right on into the Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers Injury Report, brought to you by Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers. Only one injury name on the Bugs. That's number 26, Jeremiah Roberts. Once again, Jeremiah Roberts on the injury side of things, an undisclosed injury to Mr. Roberts. And then healthy scratch-wise, as the Bugs make their way out onto the ice, is number 38, Chase Sakrisky. So that is all for your Morrison DeWitt Injury Lawyers Injury Report. Now let's get into those Whataburger starting lineups for both these Ice Wolves and your Bugs. At the left wing, number 16, Oscar Edberg, taking the opening faceoff, and at center, number 64, Stanley Hubbard, and at the right wing, number 19, Nick Petkovich. At the left defense, number 2, Sean Smith, and at the right defense, number 30, Daniel McGilvery. And getting the start in net tonight for the Ice Wolves, once again, number 30, Jackson Silverberg. Now, of course, the Ice Wolves are led by head coach Kyle McKenzie, assistant coach Chris Garrity, athletic trainer is Eric Riley, and head equipment manager for the Ice Wolves is James Fickner. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for your Whataburger starting lineups for your Shreveport Mudbugs. At the left wing from Allen, Texas, number 7, Grayson Gerhardt. Taking the opening faceoff, and at center from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, number 23, Evan Hoagland. At the right wing from Manhattan Beach, California, number 12, Duke Earhart. At the left defense from Vandalia, Ohio, number 2, Mitchell Reed. And at the right defense from Wheaton, Illinois, number 4, Johnny Burt. And getting the start in net tonight from Gormley, Ontario, number 31, in between the pipes, Tyler Hodges. Of course, your Bugs are led by head coach Jason Zuby Campbell. Assistant coach is Brett Smith. Honorary assistant coach is Chris Lane. Willow's Knight and athletic trainer is Hunter Robinson. And, of course, your head equipment manager is Billy T. Wilker. Those are your Whataburger starting lineups. Once again, brought to you by our friends at Whataburger. Whataburger, just like you like it. And once again, the Bugs are in the white uniforms with the Bugs going across the front and the fleur-de-lis going around the jerseys. Of course, the Bugs in front, it's B, Claw in place of the U, GS. So, and New Mexico in their St. Patrick's Day jerseys once again. Zach?
And now, fans, please welcome to center ice.
All right, we've got the pregame festivities going on here at the Outpost. And Take a quick timeout. On the other side, the opening puck drop from Albuquerque tonight here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Hey, Mudbug fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles, and grills. They've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Did you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweep the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
This is Ramesses Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Alrighty, back here at the Outpost in Albuquerque, New Mexico. The pregame programming kind of got crazy here. We'll take one more time out for the anthem back in a moment.
Congratulations! You kept a plant alive another day. You deserve a refreshing reward. Introducing new Whataburgers from Whataburger. You finally returned a text. Thumbs up emoji. You hung up a shirt. You changed a light bulb. You walked the dog around the whole block? Attaboy, it's treat time. The new prickly pear raspberry Whatafresher from Whataburger.
An icicle treat for every small feat. What a burger.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Rounding applause for our national anthem there. We're just about set to go from the outpost here in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Ice Wolves and Mudbugs in a rematch on this Saturday to close out the first weekend of this 2-week road trip with a weird makeup game in the middle. But nonetheless, that's what we've got going on here tonight's first period. Brought to you as always by our friends at Advanced Air Conditioning and Heating, offering installations, repairs, and maintenance for homes and businesses in the area. Log on to AdvancedAC.com. That's AdvancedAC.com. And the opening puck drop of tonight's game, as always, brought to you by our good friends at Landers.
Great people at Landers. Great people. Speaking of great people, time for tonight's Coach's Keys. Delivered by head coach Jason Soupy Campbell. Same as last night. Winning the special teams battle, puck responsibility, limiting the turnover, making good decisions with the puck, both sides of the ice, winning the dirty areas, the net fronts, the wall, the corners. Basically, what Coach Jason Soupy Campbell has relayed to both myself and Zach Grant on these Coach's Keys, it just means they have to outwork and outsmart these Ice Wolves and be connected every game, as well as tonight and just all the time, basically. I know it's kind of a blunt statement, Zach, but he's right on that. Bugs have to be connected, especially tonight, as the games dwindle down in the regular season here. Well, time for the oh-so-magical words. Signals thrown around, boys up on their feet. Evan Hoagland on the face-off. Zach, I'm excited. Let's get it going, brother.
Puck is down. We're off and rolling. It's game 52 of 59. We're coming down to the home stretch here as it's battled for at the blue line, eventually poked forward. New Mexico will recontrol the neutral waters. Near side, Damon Bickler backhanded over the line. We're off and rolling quickly here tonight from Albuquerque. Into the corner it goes. Bugs will pick it up for the first time. It's Grayson Gerhardt up the near wing. He sticks it to the middle for Duke Gerhardt. Backhanded it back across for Grayson. Grayson into the offensive zone, sends a shot off the boards on net. And that's our first whistle. 27 seconds in, and Tyler Hodges gets a start in net for the Bugs tonight. 15, 12, 2 and 5. 280 goals against, 906 save percentage. He came in relief last night. Stopped 9 of 10 that he faced. Had a good effort. Still picks up the loss because hockey's a weird sport sometimes, and that's where we stand there. But good effort nonetheless for Tyler.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Came in, halfway through the game, just as Ethan Phillips did for him a few weeks ago. And, that seems to be the theme. The goalie comes in, able to provide a spark, and that did for Tyler Hodges, but not ultimately the finishing spark that would have led to a claw-black flame.
The Bugs controlled for a moment in the offensive end after the face-off. Now it's played back out to center ice. Poloni will track it down. Nandor getting back-to-back starts here this weekend in Albuquerque. Flipped up to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Held in. Big hit there, and the Bugs force a turnover. Here's Nandor up the near wing. Gets it ahead for Jonah Jasser into the slot. Lost the puck off the edge of his stick. Remy will pinch and hold in. He runs into Nandor there. Goes into the corner for Charlie Birchfield doing the dirty work. Sticked out in the slot for Tremblay. He fired one. That's turned aside. A minute into the game, and out back out to center ice. Owen Case tracks it down. Now up ahead for Jonah Jasser, and he tried to delay with Remy, and then Jasser gets grabbed from behind here after the whistle, and then we'll go into the boards here with 18:51 here in the first period.
And Jeremy Sprung grabbed him with a horse collar there. And so believe me, I don't think Jasser heard the offside whistle until the puck literally left his stick. So, you never want to see a shot get thrown on net on an offside like that. But, yeah, nonetheless, though, Ice Wolves do control the face-off, and it's back out to the defensive pairing for the Ice Wolves. So far, goes down the length of the ice, where it's almost regathered now. Malashev with it. Malashev controls it. Ice Wolves shot, and it just goes wide.
Goes in the corner again for Malashev. Jackson Silverberg getting a start in net for New Mexico. He's been solid all season. Been a workhorse for him. We mentioned he's played more games than everybody else combined. There's a shot that's covered up by Hodges for a whistle. He comes in his 36th appearance. 23, 9-1, 263 goals against, 915 save percentage. That's for Silverberg. He's been the workhorse for sure. The head Connor Roth was injured, as we learned last night, but nonetheless, he still played more games than the other two combined as the face-off is one back to the point. Left side, that shot turned aside, and we had a scoreless first period, and as head coach Jason Soupy Campbell talked about, it was kind of an odd first period. Nobody really played hockey. They were just kind of skating around out there. We didn't take our game to them, but they didn't take their game to us. So it was scoreless. Looking much different here in the opening 2 minutes thus far tonight. Adams backhands it up the near side wall. It's controlled by the Bugs defensive end. Now flipped up far side. At the half wall, bounce back off the boards for Adams. Around a defender to his left, up the shadow of the boards. into the offensive zone, hits the break to the circle, fed it to the middle for Semango. That's turned aside. Joe gets it right back. High slot now. The Bugs will control and cycle it back up to the blue line, looking to set something up. Centering feed that time for Reed, goes off of his stick. Mitchell plays it into the corner. Eventually picked back up by New Mexico. They'll slap it up the wall to the blue line, but not out of the zone as the Bugs hold it in. That was Simons who did a good job that time before it goes over his stick all the way down. John Burns going to give chase, get to the puck before it got to the red line. Icing washed out. He hits the brakes behind Phillips, or Hodges rather. Gets it near side again for John Burnt. Pitchforks it up the wall, takes a hit, but he got it to center. Up head for Griner, poked off of his stick. And it goes back up for Stanley Hubbard, the New Mexico captain. And he was the player that Soupy highlighted pregame. He had 2 goals and an assist last night. Those 2 goals just 12 seconds apart. Big hit there on the Bugs. New Mexico forces a turnover. It's Andy Earl at center, stolen away by Jason Simon. Simon's backhands it as Hoagland just barely got back on side. Silverberg out of his net behind it to play it. Goes backhand across up the near wall, picked up again by Nander Poloni. Hoagland gets knocked off the puck. Bounces for Gerhard, now up for Duke. And Gerhard again, he's continued his hot streak with his goal to start off the third period. It's 5 goals in 3 games. Here's Poloni. Sticks it down low for Hoagland. Snaps it back up top for Grayson. For Remy, who barely corrals it, but he gets it into the slot. Nyan Pye steals it away, turns it off the boards. Backhanded out to center is Andy Earl. Down the right side at the circle. His shot tipped by Nando, who stepped in front of it. Goes wide of the net, bounces far side. Nando gets it back behind the cage and stolen away. Here's Pye. Turns and fires a wraparound shot. That gets deflected aside. Played by Hoagland out to center. Grayson gets a touch on it at the red line. Eventually controlled, though, by New Mexico back into their own end. Almost 4 minutes gone here in the opening period. Andy Earl left of the circle, wraps it around the boards. Owen Case is going to win the foot race to it. In the corner, he's got it on his stick. Up ahead for Grayson Gerhard. And he leaves it towards the net. Back for Owen Case. Case at the right circle. Will dump it ahead. Tremblay sticked it down in center, but it's immediately dumped back in by Andre Moskvitsin for the Ice Wolves. As now Owen Case has it. Far circle. Knocked off the puck at center ice. Jeremy Sprunk picks it up. Joined the club just 12 games ago. And now Jonah Jasper over the line right side. Hits the brakes at the hash mark. Up top for Tremblay. Works to the right dot. His shot there. Turned aside. Rebound. Goes through the crease. Comes back near point for Owen Case. Slaps at it. Now for Willie. Snaps back across right point for Adams. Adams retreats towards the blue line. Now for Jonah. High slot. His shot blasted just wide. Owen Case picks it back up. One time drive saved by Silverberg. Out of the net to his right. And New Mexico plays it up the wall, but not out. On the stick of Willie Tremblay. Snaps it along the blue line for Evan Adams. Tried to leave it off in the slot, and nobody was there except for Anton Malashev, who plays it back out. 5 minutes gone, opening period. Up ahead now for Charlie Birchfield in over the line left side. Sends the dribbler from the blue line and goes off for a change. Gets it deep. Up the wall now. It's played by Brock Fairbanks. For New Mexico, he'll start the breakout up the center of the ice through the middle logo. 3-player entry. It's poked away from him at the blue line. Gotten back by Noah Tang. They'll doing the dirty work. Crosses toward the net. In the crease, it's loose. The net comes off. The Bugs were going to start the breakout, but now they're going to have to defend a D-zone draw here with 14:43. And actually, maybe not. The officials are talking about it here.
They're trying to see, because if you look at the replay here, Kim comes on in, tries to get a shot, and they're looking to see, and Hodges just gets on it. But the question is, I think that's what they're trying to decide, if that was robbing of a scoring opportunity. But I don't think anything, at least not to, nope, looks like nothing's going to really come out of it. So nothing, yeah.
Referee Blake Williams, Easton Perrin, and James Briscoe, the linesman. His crew was very communicative last night, and you'd rather take a few extra seconds to get the call right. So good on them. This time it's one back for Reed behind the cage. Works off to left of the net, up the wall for Ryan Barrett. Snaps it back across for John Burnt. Plays it off the carom. Wraps it around the board. Silverberg back of the net to play it. Wraps it around the kick plate. Comes far side at the half wall. Undercutting the New Mexico Ice Wolves that time with John Burnt to get a stick on it before New Mexico steals it back. And the Ice Wolves start up the near side. It's wrapped around the boards by McGilvery. Goes off the side of the cage. Rebound bounces to Noah Tang. Tang, top of the left circle. Into the slot for Bickler. His shot turned aside by Hodges. Picked up by Reed, and he rifles it towards the blue line. Goes off of Barrett. Doesn't come out. Left side is Edberg. Wraps it around the kick plate. Now comes back into the near corner. Foot race for it that time. Petkovic races in after it for New Mexico. Eventually controlled by Vinny Giulio. Now Mitchell Reed wraps around the boards. Comes back far side for John Byrne. He's knocked off the puck. Reed will come and grab it. He gets knocked off the puck. Giveaway right out in front. Point blank range. That backhand shot pushed just wide. Now comes up the wall. Big hit. That's going to be a charging penalty, I would imagine. Or hit. Hit to the head, that works too.
Yeah.
Either way with the penalty, and the Bugs are going to go to the first power play of the game with 13:43 left here in the first.
And going into the box for the Ice Wolves, number 64, Stanley Hubbard, the New Mexico native, actually. I'll be honest, I didn't know that. But nonetheless, actually the Albuquerque, New Mexico native. So hometown boy goes into the box. There.
Stanley Hubbard leads the team in penalty minutes. He's got 110 now. And kind of like Soupy was talking about, though, he's not known to be a goal scorer. Only has 19 points, but he had 2 last night against the Bugs as they control the power play face-off. Evan Adams snaps it across far point for Gerhardt. Gerhardt's got it, works in a high slot, trying to get it to Willie Tremblay. That's stolen away. Evan Adams tries to play deep. New Mexico whacks at it, can't clear the zone. Now they've got it on their stick, and it's rifled all the way down. So it's played now by Tyler Hodges, leaves it off for Evan Adams. His Bugs power play sitting just under 17%. It's brought in over the line, left side. Gerhardt into the slot, poked back out. New Mexico's penalty kill, rather, is one of the worst in the league, 72%. That's good for 33rd in the North American Hockey League. So not last, but near the bottom nonetheless.
Yeah. Again, it's just a Scott Powerline power play. Just has to go to work here, especially with a minute 10 and rolling left on the Hubbard penalty.
Bugs bring it in over the line. It's Hoagland down to the bottom of the right circle. Looks for a say. Was trying to one-time it for Grayson Gerhardt. That gets turned aside. Willie got a piece of it, but then it's backhanded out of the zone by New Mexico. They get another clear midway through the Bugs power play. 12:38 left. Opening period, much different opening frame here tonight after last night. These two teams are using their game plan. They're sticking to it as Griner's going to hang out in the trapezoid back behind the cage, even though that's not in effect in the North American Hockey League. It's Owen Case now with it. Far side, snaps it back across for Griner. Through the skate to the referee. Nice acrobatic move by him. Now back over the line, it's Jonah Jasser. Jasser cut down the slot. Birchfield fired one. Rebound comes out for Griner, who tried to poke at it, but it's cleared out the zone, and a great play by the Bugs here. And Birchfield was right there. It was a beautiful chance for him, but just turned aside. Silverberg again coming up big for New Mexico.
Yeah, the ref blew the whistle there for hand pass. And that's what the Bugs bench was wanting, and that hand pass call, and they got it. So good situational awareness there. Ahead referee Blake Williams. So good stuff there. As the face-off now goes off to the right-hand side of the aforementioned Jackson Silverberg with 24 seconds left on this Scott Powerline power play. Just got to get something on net. Go, go, go.
Birchfield at the left dot, wins it back towards the blue line. On the stick of Owen Case, left point. He takes a few steps, fires one, turned aside, rebound, one-time blast from Jasser, just wide as Silverberg had to sprawl to his right as he went all out, but Jasser pushed it just wide. Back up top now for Griner. Left point, Owen Case at the circles. Back up top, Griner drive through traffic, rebound, scored just by the far post again. Bugs are getting the chances. Here's Owen Case as the power play is over. Successful kill for New Mexico. Down low, it's Case again. Goes off of Birchfield, ping-pongs around, and Silverberg somehow able to jump on top of it. And now Birchfield mixing it up with a couple of Ice Wolves. That's McGilvery in there. The main one there, but the linesman step in. But I don't know how Silverberg saw that puck. It went off at least 6 different players on the way to the net.
No, absolutely. And it's the situational awareness there from Jackson Silverberg, able to come up big in the dying seconds of the Bugs power play there. But like I said before that all started, had to get something going to the net. And that was a good thing that the Bugs were able to get their chances. Obviously, they want to finish it. As a blunt statement as it is, they wanted to finish it, but it was good to see the effort of the Scott Powerline power play. Hopefully, it continues throughout this game, even when they're not on the power play.
Duilio in to take that draw. Soupy said he was the one who's been hot as of late. He kind of flies under the radar with the type of game he plays, but he's been big for the Bugs. He's got 13 points on a year, had an assist last night. He's brought in over the line by Nandor. 4-player entry. They all stayed onside somehow, but the Ice Wolves will steal it away. Up the wall. It's brought in by Malashev. Nice move around. Baird cuts down the slot. Missed it just wide. Got poked away by Baird, who stayed with it. Now it's picked up behind the cage by Remy. Hits the brakes. Looking to try to split the D that time. Goes off the board softly for Vinny Duilio. Now for Wolf Talby in front of Tyler Hodges there. 10:55 and rolling here in the first period. We're scoreless. Shots are 8-6. This looks a lot more like a New Mexico Shreveport game than what we saw in the opening 20 last night, as it's played off the wall now for Wolf Talby. Snaps it up ahead to the blue line. Touched by Ryan Baird to negate the icing. Bounces far side for Moskvitin. Flips it up the wall for Nyan Pai. Around a check up ahead for Andy Earl. Drops it off for Gibbons. They move the puck well. Gibbons down to the bottom of the left circle. Can't get a shot away as Duke Earhart flips it up the boards back to center ice. But good job by the Bugs defensively. Now Earhart forces the turnover. Dumps it into the zone, takes a check, and doesn't get to the puck. It's Damon Bickler who gets to it first for New Mexico. Snaps it across now as the Ice Wolves start the breakout up for Andy Earl. And that goes off of his stick, so icing washed out. All the way back down, Grayson picks it up in the corner. He's shoved off the puck, gets it back to his stick, though, and flips it up the wall. Goes off of Mitchell Reed, bounces right to Nyan Pye in the slot, backhanded by Earl. Now Gibbons has it. He'll wrap it around the boards. Comes far side point for Sean Smith, who saves it. Behind the cage again, it's picked up by Gibbons, and it squirts to Hodges, who wisely to his left will jump on top of it for a whistle, and that brings us to immediate timeout. 9:55 in the first. We're rolling tonight from the outposts.
Hey, Mudbug fans, this is Duncan Welker. Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty and flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Hey, this is Mitchell Reed, and you're listening to the Shreveport Mudbugs hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs audio network with Zach Grant and Duncan Welker. Now let's get back to the action. Claws up.
Mudbugs hockey brought to you as always by our friends at Sonic Drive-In. This is Howie Sonic. Face-off D-zone for the Bugs. Off to Hodges' right as he stands at the top of the crease, and now it looks like the back linesman, James Briscoe, is calling for Earl to get thrown out of the draw, so he will jump out of the draw. There were 9:55 left in the scoreless first period here from Albuquerque as the Bugs will control the face-off. It's wrapped up the boards, wide of the stick that time with Jonah Jasser. Now comes back far corner for John Burt. Defensive end flips it up the boards, and Sean Smith can't save it. Now he's going to go through the skate to the linesman. Bounces for Jonah Jasser, who pitches it ahead to himself. Into the corner, dances around a defender, then Silverberg out of his crease to play it. And then nice move there by Jasser to jump over the outstretched body. That time with Silverberg draws a whistle with 9:37.
You know what's funny, Zach? The phrase of the day seems to be situational awareness, whether it's from the refereeing committee or by both goalies, especially Tyler Hodges down there before we went to immediate timeout, and even from Jackson Silverberg down there, because if you look at the replay there, you know, the puck was coming in, and Jasser was coming in hot. Don't get me wrong. He was coming in hot, but Silverberg had the awareness there to cover it up, even if he had to Superman dive it out there. But, man, situational awareness all around here tonight. Love it.
Big drive, top shelf. It's rifled. It's Grayson Gerhard who launches one. And the Bugs, with a crazy fashion, are up 1-0 with 9:33 to go.
Whew. Grayson Gerhard. Give me another one. Love to see it, Grayson. He's just able to, off the face-off, especially right here at this replay, off the face-off win from Evan Hoagland, wrists it right past Jackson Silverberg, and the Bugs lead 1-0. I love it.
That puck had some bad intentions behind that one.
Bad intentions, yeah.
Right off the draw. Gerhard wasted no time, we'll put it that way.
There you go. No.
So it's Grayson's 10th goal of the year now since joining the Bugs. His 14th overall. Man, that was a good trade.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Parichka's a solid player, but Grayson has really produced offensively for the Bugs. His Owen Case leaves it up the wall for Jonah Jasser. Birchfield can't corral it cleanly, almost turned over in the slot. Jasser stays with it. Now goes far side, chipped off the top of the dasher boards there. Behind the cage again, picked up by Charlie Birchfield. Now up the wall for Willie Tremblay. At the left hash marks, will dump it out of the zone to center ice. Pick back up, and now the bodies are starting to fly here. And now it goes off of the board. Silverberg around the net to play. Decides not to touch it, though. On the far side, Jonah Jasser got a piece of it. Now bounces for Poloni. He can't corral it cleanly, and it's turned over. It's Noah Tang. Leaves it off just barely onside. Big drive from the left point. That one goes wide of the net. Comes near side again where the Bugs will pick it up. Slaps it up to the blue line for Jonah Jasser. Off the board, Tremblay, and he'll go off for a change. Comes back of the cage now, picked up by Sean Smith. 1-0 Bugs. 8:40 to go in the first period. So we're not going to have a scoreless first here this evening in Albuquerque. As it goes just over the blue line into the Bugs end. Remy can't chip it out. Comes far side again for Evan Hoagland. Picked back up by Remy. Stolen away from him again. left circle. Calling for it is McGilvery. He can't save it at the point. Remy's trying to split the D there, but it's going to eventually be controlled, though, as it's dumped in by Malashev to the blue line, but not out. Semengo will take a check as he dumps it from Sprung. Here comes Griner. Remy with a nice toe drag to stay on side. Jarrett fires one. Push it just wide. Rebound from Sybens goes through the crease. And it comes up the near wall, back out to center ice. Mitchell Reed will pick it up at the center red line and dump it in. He gets hit from Sprung again. Sprung had the first goal last night. We didn't really see him throw the body around last night, but he's doing it here this evening as he's got it up the wall, held in at the blue line. Far point, that shot pushed just wide. Comes near side at the circle again. It's Julio trying to play to the middle, goes back all the way down. This should be icing, and it will be as Wolf Talby is the first to get there with 7:41 to go here in the first period. All icings brought to you by
Louder's Baking Company. You stole it from me, but you know what? It works just as good. Of course, that's Louder's Baking Company, one of the newest, and I think, well, all of our corporate partners are great, but yeah.
They got a lot of money from me last weekend. They
well,
had the king cakes out there
yeah.
outside of Mardi Gras season, so you got to do it. You got to do it. As it's one into the corner now, up the near side half wall, pitchfork towards the blue line. Reed can't save it at the point. There's going to be another icing coming up on New Mexico with 7:31 this time. 1-0 Mudbugs with the lead.
You know, let's go back to that Grayson Gerhardt goal. Again, we don't say it enough. Evan Hoagland off the draw, wins it back to Grayson Gerhardt, and he risks it like he's just trying to get it out. You know what? I think I understand the bad intentions line now.
Centering feed there goes wide of Reed's stick. Flipped up to center ice. It's on the stick of the aforementioned Grayson Gerhardt. John Burnt can't corral it clearly. Now gets it back. Tried to send it back to your side, but it's intercepted. Malashev down to the bottom of the circle. Snapped across. Big drive goes off the side of the net. The fans here got excited for a second, but it was on the outside of the twine that time. Back out to center. It's John Burnt. 4-player entry as they all hit the line at the same time, but intercepted. Now it's an odd man rush the other way. It's got given to Gibbons down the slot. Backhand shot. He scored on the deke. What a move around Tyler Hodges. Not much a goalie can do there as the Bugs went with 4 players in, and they left the back door open, and New Mexico takes advantage. We're tied at 1.
Again, it goes back to that just turnovers that are killing the defensive effort and even the offensive effort. It just goes back to that turnover problem the Bugs have had, especially not only this season, but just especially this weekend. So, but don't get me wrong now. The goal itself there's not much really as you see here. 2-on-1 after a turnover there in the neutral zone, which is able to backhand, and it actually squeaked right through the 5-hole of Tyler Hodges. And so, on the one hand, you're absolutely right. Not much a goalie can do there, but on the other hand, the best way to stop that problem, turnovers, eliminate them, and that's one of the coach's keys. And really, that's one of the things they've been saying all year. Even before you got here, Zach. That's been the main issue so far with this Bugs team. Turnovers. But nonetheless, tied up game. So you got to put that one past you. Get right back down there.
That's goal number 25 of the year for Sean Gibbons. Puts him just 3 back of the team lead in goals. And again, that offensive play there, you come with 4 players into the zone. It's almost like a blitz in football. Yeah. If it doesn't execute, it's going to burn you, and that's what happened there. So 1-1 our score now is Sean Gibbons leaving it up. And again, what would it be a Shreveport, New Mexico game if it wasn't back and forth?
Oh, yeah.
Face-off coming up here at center for Vinny Giulio to take it for the Bugs. Lined up across from Andy Earl. As they wait for the doors to close over there on the far side after collecting the Wolves that were thrown out on the ice. We're going to do that draw again. Good battle going on the far side of the circle. Now we're going to wait again. Lopez, Corsi, and Gibbons exchanging some slashes back and forth as well. And now the linesman's going to back him up. Just get the face-off here with 6:58. There it is. There's one back for Owen Case at his own blue line near side. Pitched up ahead into the offensive zone. Intercepted, though, by the Ice Wolves. Brought up by Andy Earl. 360 spin for Nyan Pai, who got knocked off the puck, and Liam Wolf-Talby picks up the loose puck that time. Comes far side at the circles now. Brought up the ice. Tried to feed it across. Got tipped by New Mexico, and then they give it away right out in front. It was Julio. Rebound off the side of the net for Lopez Corsi. He tracks it back down and hits the brakes in the corner. Shoves it against the wall. Up top to the blue line. Doesn't connect cleanly with Evan Adams. Goes back out to center ice. Evans got it back at his own blue line. New Mexico's on a change. Brought in over the line, DiUlio. Shot from Vinny is gloved down by Silverberg. And then DiUlio gets grabbed by his helmet that time by Moskviden over there in the corner. And the linesman will step in quickly. Here with 6:17 left to go in the first.
I mean, I don't blame the reaction from Vinny DiUlio there. I mean, you get grabbed by your helmet like that. As watch the replay to set it up there, and even before that, Mexico was calling a change. And again, it's just the situational awareness of Jackson Silverberg able to come up with it. So let's look at it. Yeah, he's grabbed by his helmet, and then Vinny throws another shot towards Bickler's way. And I mean, I don't blame him. I mean, you don't want to see that, because it could lead to so much worse. But I don't blame the reaction from Vinny DiUlio though.
Birchfield wins it back towards the blue line. Tremblay fires one right off the face-off, lifted it just over top the net. It's corralled, far side. Now it's poked out of zone by New Mexico. They've got a 2-on-2. They've got speed. Cutting down the slot was Petkovic. They couldn't get it to him as it was knocked away. Now Stanley Hubbard got the puck for home before Willie steals it away. Tremblay off to his left for Jasser. Jasser into the zone. Will dump it from the blue line, which is covered up. And then now we're going to get another mix here as everybody's going to get involved here. Jonah Jasser grabs a hold of a couple of Ice Wolves. Stanley Hubbard has a piece of somebody down there in the corner. Mitchell Reed and John Burnt just patrolling from afar. Hubbard's still going after it with Willie that time.
Yeah. Which, don't get me wrong, Hubbard's 6'6". Tremblay comes in at 5'8". I mean, size advantage alone, Willie Tremblay plays like a guy who is as tall as Stanley Hubbard. And yeah, I mentioned it last night. I'm going to mention it again as Charlie Birchfield goes into the box for the Bugs and Petrovic for the Ice Wolves, so we'll have to get that on out. 2 minutes roughing from Blake Williams, mic'd up referee, but nonetheless, I mentioned it last night, Willie Tremblay plays like a guy who's 6'6", and you love that when it's on your team. But nonetheless, we'll have a Windows sound effect before we get anything, but
it's also time for the media timeout, but let's see if they take it here. And we're not going to take it. So it is going to be 4-on-4, though, so we get some open ice here. So it's Reed, Burnt, Hoagland, and Earhart out there for the Bucks to send that 4-on-4 unit out there. And see what happens here with 5:55 left. So again, Birchfield and Petkovic, a guilty party. They'll both sit for 2. As things are starting to heat up quickly here tonight as Duke Earhart will play it. And rightly so. You know, you got New Mexico who is trying to hold on to that bye. The Bugs are trying to climb the ladder up to 4th so they can host the first round. This one sneaks out to center and all the way back down. So got to get a physical game. These two teams have been physical with each other all season long anyways, but you get a ipso facto playoff game as it's brought in by Hoagland. Nice move around the defender. Gets it back. Right circle, fires it. Silverberg rebound. It went out to Duke Earhart who tried to slap at it, but it stopped that time. Comes around the boards near side for Mitchell Reed, who's got it. He takes a check, but gets it behind the cage. Picked up now by Brock Fairbanks. 5:22 to go, first period. 1-1 our score. Grayson Gerhardt got the opening goal. New Mexico followed it up shortly after that with a Sean Gibbons attempt. Ryan Pye got the assist on that goal as it's brought in by Sean Smith, but Owen Case steals it back. Case flips up the wall, trying to get it for Gerhardt. It doesn't connect, and that's going to be no icing as Gerhardt beat the race out. Now it's controlled nonetheless by New Mexico. Up ahead for Andy Earl. Right side of the circle. In over the line. Gets knocked off the puck, and Earhart's trying to start it the other way. Duke's got it. Rumbles into the offensive zone. Drop back for Owen Case at the blue line. He'll wrap it around the boards. Into the corner it goes. Back of the cage picked up by Ryan Pye. Pye far corner now. It's Bickler who cycles back the near side. Gerhardt steals away the loose puck. Gerhardt's got it. Works towards the blue line. Poked away from him. He's going to play it back out to center ice. So 4-on-4 looking like 3-on-3 right here. Evan Adams will play it. Far side, the Bugs were on a change. He's going to settle it down behind the cage and set something up here with the guys off the bench. 4:20 to go, first period. 1-1 our score here in New Mexico. 22 seconds left on the 4-on-4. Up ahead for John Burnt. Burnt tried to get around a defender. Nice play that time by Kasai to knock it loose, and it comes back the near side. To center ice, it's controlled by Bickler with speed through the middle logo. Bickler into the zone, backhanded towards the slot, loose in the crease. Comes back for Bickler along the near corner. Behind the cage again, comes far side for John Burnt as he goes back the other way. Burnt up the wall for Jared Griner. Just pokes it out to center ice for Poloni. Nandor over the line left side. Nandor looks, drops it back. Birchfield fired one, that gets knocked away. Here's Remy with a drive. He pushed it just wide. And Sean Smith backhanded up towards center. Picked up by Noah Tang. He'll snap it across. Griner got a piece of it. New Mexico into the zone. Anyway, big drive, and Hodges will jump in front of it and hang on for a whistle with 3:36 left to go in the first.
Good save there by Tyler Hodges. And, of course, once this 3:36 in the first period has expired, along with a break or two, I'll talk to number 22, Charlie Birchfield, and I got an interesting conversation with him as part of the North Gatwick Specialty First Intermission, of course, brought to us by our friends at the North Gatwick Specialty in Vivian. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 to get 10% off your service, but we'll have to wait till later. Hello.
Mosfeton, big drive there, turned aside, never got to the net. Picked back up. Andre's got it at the right point, down to the bottom of the right circle. Crashes toward the net, goes behind the cage, backhand shot through the crease. Rebounded Hodges was out of his net on his backside. It's controlled again by New Mexico. Bugs need to clear it out here. Here's Cohen. Harold fires the drive. That goes through the crease, but Hodges got enough of it to steer it wide. Picked back up by Lopez Corsi. Flips up the wall far side. And here come the Bugs on a 3-on-2. Reed takes the check. It's up for Wolf. Tallview gets knocked down from behind. Ryan Barrett was trying to get it, but Silverberg poked it out. Another big hit coming the other way. See hitting picking up once again as it's dumped in by Hess. Goes into the corner where Mitchell Reed picks it up. Final 3 minutes of the opening frame. Ryan Barrett back into his own zone for Lopez Corsi. Gabe trying to work around Brock Fairbanks. Spins off of him. Now tries to pitch it up the wall. Gabe still got it on his stick. Now works to the middle and got it out to center ice. Picked back up by Ryan Barrett. He'll fire one from the red line. He got a good scoring chance out of that one as Silverberg had to make the stop. Back up towards the blue line. It's controlled by Mosfeton. Snaps it off to the right for Fairbanks. Fairbanks over the line. Fairbanks knocked off stride. Goes down in the corner. Still has the puck. Owen Case will grab the loose puck now. Goes far side into the corner again. Evan Adams provides some defense on Sprung. Good battle right in front of that once again. Up towards the blue line, it's Sean Smith with it, right point. Snaps back across to the left point. Wrapped around the boards. Jeremy Sprung gets hauled down that time by Evan Adams. Looking for a call, not going to get one. Jonah Jasser's got it along the far side kick plate. Intercepted, though, as it's wrapped around the boards by Petkovic. Comes in a near corner. Up the half wall towards the blue line. Held in just barely, and then goes off the top of the glass and rattles around to the far side. 2 minutes to go. First period, 1-1 our score. Owen Case standing next to Malashev. They both have it trapped against the boards. Bugs will control as New Mexico starts to change. Here's Adams through the middle. Off to his left for Tremblay. Willie over the line. Tremblay back for Adams. Got it towards the net. Goes in the crease, but Silverberg jumps on top of it and hangs on to stop time with 1:38 on the first period clock.
You know, Zach, Fireplace Specialties, they've got pretty much just everything you could need. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles and grills, and, they're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport, or, you can just visit them on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Shot there from Grayson trying to replicate the magic. It comes all the way back down. Mitchell Reed in a foot race for it that time. Got undercut, but he still got the puck. Up ahead for Duke Gerhard, 1:27 to go. Grayson wraps it around the boards, just wide of the referee as Kyle McKenzie there on the New Mexico bench trying to work Blake Williams over there as he skates by. Goes into the left circle. Earhart shoves the man off the puck. Grayson gets it back. Sends it towards the net. Goes off the side of the cage. John Byrne had it for a moment behind the net, but now it's played out by New Mexico. The Ice Wolves start it and wrap it around the board from center. Petkovic, Rounder's going to win the foot race to it. Goes into open ice for Duke Earhart. Sticks it back to the middle, and it's played by McGilvery just off the top of the glass. Final minute here. Period number 1. 1-1 is our score. Gerhard got the first goal. Sean Gibbons followed up. Icing is washed out. Goes all the way behind the cage. Picked back up now by number 2 in green. That's Sean Smith. As New Mexico still in their St. Patrick's Day green this weekend. As Semengo gets knocked off the puck. Got it up ahead for Jason Simon for it. Stolen back and flipped to center. Now it's Gibbons who plays it ahead into the offensive zone for a moment. Stolen back by Semengo. Semengo drops it off for Griner. Griner tries to snipe it. That goes up off of Silverberg. Off the top of the glass. Stays in play. Griner tried to feed it up to the wall to the blue line, but it's intercepted. Now Simons gets it back. Left circle. Drops it back for Griner. His shot through the crease. Poked wide. It's Remy now with it. 13 seconds to go. Centering feed for Semengo. Couldn't get it to him. And Remy gets it back. Up the wall it comes. Towards the blue line. Now dumped into the corner. 5 seconds to go. Picked up by Sean Smith. He's going to hold on to it. Wrap it around the kick plate. Griner gets to it as he takes it from Nyan Pie at the buzzer. But that's going to do it for the opening 20 minutes here as a meeting of the minds. And Remy is away from the main pile there. It looks like somebody might be going to the box here. We'll have to check that as the final 20 minutes, or first 20 minutes comes to an end here. Bucks got the first goal, Duncan, from Grayson Gerhard. Sean Gibbons followed up, and we're 1-1 after 1.
I mean, it was a good period. Don't get me wrong. A much different period, clearly from last night's affairs. But again, it all goes back to that word, turnovers. Turnovers is what is just hampering the efforts of this Bugs team. But don't get me wrong, though. If you look at the shot counter, 13-11 in favor of the Bugs. So, don't get me wrong. When they're able to get an offensive effort down to the New Mexico zone, they're able to at least get something going, and that's a good thing. But again, what's killing them down on the defensive end of things, turnovers. But that's just my side of things. But again, that Grayson Gerhard goal, I love it. God, it was fiery. I love it. But that's just where we stand on things here as we roll into this North Cattle Express Loop First Intermission Show. Once again, brought to you by friends at the North Cattle Express Loop in Vivian. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 to get 10% off your service. Again, that's the North Cattle Express Loop in Vivian. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 for 10% off your service. And on the other side of the break, I'll talk to Charlie Birchfield. I got to talk to him, and, of course, I talked to him about his future path in aviation, wanting to be a pilot, as well as his relationship with the Lord. And so we'll hear that and much more on the other side of the break here on this North Cattle Express Loop First Intermission Show. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Bug fans, this is Duncan Welker with the Shreveport Mudbugs. DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional and private investigations for over 20 years. They offer both a full range of services to both businesses and individuals. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or suspect an internal theft problem within your business, DeFata and Associates can get you the information you need. Call Jerry and the team today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case, or visit them online at defatapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantled and grills, they've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is Mitchell Reed, and you're listening to the Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Welcome back to the North Caddo Express Loop First Intermission Show, driven to you by our friends at the North Caddo Express Loop in Vivian. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 to get 10% off your service. Now joining me, Mudbugs forward number 22, Charlie Birchfield. Charlie, welcome back.
Thank you.
Of course. Now, Charlie, we come into tonight after last night's tough and tough, but also tight loss against these New Mexico Ice Wolves, 5-3, the final score. But that's not to say that there wasn't a clawback attempt to steal a pun from my broadcast partner, Zach Grant. Of course, a third period, 3-goal barrage. What was the mood on the bench through each and every one of those goals in that third period effort?
Yeah, no, we just kind of went into the third period knowing that we needed to chip away one by one. We had a goal scoring a goal every 5 minutes, tie the game, take it to OT. And we did that. We were down a goal with about 7 minutes to go, and we just couldn't bury the fourth one. Their goalie was playing really well, but we had a good effort at the end there, trying to claw back a hole we dug ourselves into.
Absolutely. Of course, you mentioned their goaltender, Jackson Silverberg, stopping 30 of 33. One of two New Mexico Ice Wolf goalies, of course, Connor Roth, the other one, actually out with an injury I saw last night, and he was up in their broadcast booth. But nonetheless, Charlie, 24-hour rule obviously passed effect at this point. What's the mood going into tonight against these New Mexico Ice Wolves?
Yeah, we got a job to do. We got 2 points to take, and there's a lot on the line coming into the last 7 or 8 games. So every point's really crucial for playoffs, and we haven't clinched a playoff spot yet, so every game's super important. So tonight's just gonna be a lot of chipping away, finishing hits, being strong in the corner battles, and coming out of here with 2 points.
Absolutely, and of course you mentioned, actually we're down to our last 8 games, including tonight's game. So after tonight, obviously it'll be at the 7-game mark. But no, you mentioned finished. You need to be a lot of more finishing hits. Another thing that I think, and both myself and Zach Grant, along with many other members of the Mudbug roster and coaching staff, even observed the turnovers. What did Coach Soupy and Smitty say to you guys about the turnovers from last night's game?
Yeah, turnovers are super crucial, especially if they're on the blue line. We got to take care of the puck. If you get it past the red line, you don't have an option. Just dump it deep and live to fight another day. We can't afford to turn over pucks and give up odd man rushes going the other way. That will be the deciding factor in games, and it has been the deciding factor in games.
Oh, absolutely. In saying that, though, you're absolutely right. It has been a deciding factor in games, both obviously bad way going against us, but also in good ways, because I've noticed several of these teams, and actually including the Ice Wolves, have, it's really just a hockey. One thing I've learned, Charlie, and I'm sure you've learned this too, it's all about perception and how you look at things.
Yep.
But nonetheless, Charlie, moving along from the hockey side of things, at least for right now, what's going on in your world since the last time we talked?
Yeah, just trying to get better every single day. Outside of hockey, I'm taking aviation classes. I'm learning to be a pilot.
Yep.
So I've been keeping myself busy with that. We'll practice, and then right after practice, I'll head to go fly for a couple hours.
Nice.
And just working on getting my private pilot's license before I go home for the summer. But also at the same time, just trying to improve every day in the weight room, growing in my faith with Christ every day, and just trying to improve myself overall as a person.
Absolutely. Now, 2 questions come out of that. Firstly, this is going to be kind of a weird one. What would be your preferential choice of airline to fly? I know it's kind of weird to ask. Obviously.
No, that's a valid question. I haven't really thought that far ahead. I was still trying to get all my licenses and everything, but I guess the end goal would maybe be a Delta or a Southwest or American airline pilot.
Okay.
I feel like those are top end airlines, so that'd be a goal.
Absolutely. And you know what, Charlie, it's never too much of a bad thing to always think forward and think ahead. Of course, even on the hockey side of things, Bugs look to do that tonight. And speaking of, and the second question coming out of it, what's your favorite Bible verse?
Oh, that's a good question. I think my favorite verse is Proverbs 3:5. Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. It kind of just means everything happens for a reason. So, like, when bad things are happening to you, just trust in the Lord. Like, these things are happening to you for a reason, and that's kind of the way I've been looking at life for a while since I read that verse, and I think that's my favorite Bible verse.
That is awesome here. Of course, mine is John 3:16. But Charlie, I think that's a good way to look at things, especially not only as a personal side of things, but also even from a hockey side of things. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Now, Charlie, I got one last question for you, and then I'm going to let you get going. So you mentioned you want to be a pilot.
Yep.
Where are you taking flying lessons at? I'm a little curious about that.
Yeah, so I'm taking it locally in Shreveport. It's the downtown airport, so it's kind of a private hangar. Furious Aviation is the name of the company I'm going it through with Michael, and great guy. He's been training me for about a month and a half now, and I've learned a lot going through him, and he's just been super great with everything, and I've learned a ton with him, and I'm very grateful for him.
That's awesome, Charlie. Now, I kind of lied in this, but it's a question that I think should get asked.
Yeah.
What is your personal game plan? What is Charlie Birchfield's personal game plan for tonight against these New Mexico Ice Wolves?
Yeah, it's the same as every game. I have a role on the team, and that role is being good on the face-off dot, finishing every hit, tracking back, being really good in the D zone, not allowing any goals against. And, I think that I think I've been doing a pretty good job at that. Granted, my line mates have been also really working their butts off, and, we've been really shut down in the D zone, haven't allowed any goals against. I think only 2 since I've gotten here, but that's been a role that I've accepted and I've loved to have on this team. And everybody's got a job that they need to do, and I believe that's my job. And as long as I'm able to do that, then I can help the team out to be successful and win hockey games.
Absolutely, and of course, I think another little gone under the radar role you have is a bit of a chippy one since you came over here.
Yeah.
I'm about to say you're definitely throwing the body around, and don't get me wrong, Charlie. You're saying 6'1", 185. I feel like a lot of people underestimate that size of yours, especially here in New Mexico. I feel like a lot of people underestimate that. But, nonetheless, Charlie, thank you for coming on here on this North Caddo Express Loop for a Miss show.
No, thank you.
All right, and as always, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here on this North Caddo Express Loop first intermission show. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Did you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke-flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweet the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
This is Ramesses Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Opening 20 minutes in the book here from Albuquerque. It's 1-1. Grayson Gerhard got the opening goal. Sean Gibbons tied it up for New Mexico. And as we hit the latter stages of the division here, let's take a look quickly at our out-of-town scoreboard so we can get you caught up around the rest of the South Division.
All righty, thank you, Zach. Of course, only 2 other games across the South Division. Lone Star in Oklahoma. Lone Star leads that one 3-2. The Bucks will see them on Tuesday, which, by the way, we have some ticket offers to get into a little bit later in the broadcast of how to come out to a Bugs game on a weeknight, but also save a little money. Nonetheless, moving along here to Corpus Christi and Amarillo, 4-1 in favor of the Ice Rays. Of course, last night, Amarillo won on overtime. And, Zach, I think you said it best that they weren't going to take last night's loss lying down. And, well, based on the scoreline, yeah, I would agree. But, nonetheless, that is all for the rest of the South Division. And, oh, hey, an interesting score out of the Northeast Division. Minnesota and Austin. And Carter McKay, former Mudbug, gets his first Austin Bruins goal. They actually lead the Minnesota Mallards 5-2. Moving into some select scores from the rest of the league, the Eastern Division champions, the Maryland Black Bears, they lead the Johnstown Tomahawks 3-2. Some games going final. The Wisconsin Wendigo 7-1 over the Chippewa Steel, and the New Jersey Titans 3-2 over the Northeast Generals. Now let's take a look at some scores from the rest of the sporting world. The Utah Mammoth lead the Pittsburgh Penguins 2-0. Toronto, they lead Buffalo, they are tied with Buffalo, 2-2. Of course, that's after the news of Austin Matthews being out for the rest of the season. San Jose 3-2 over the Montreal Canadiens. 3-2, Lightning trail the Hurricanes. Devils 4-3 over the Kings. The third period there. Islanders 3-2 over the Flames, third period. Blue Jackets 1-1 on the Flyers, just getting ready to go into the second intermission. And the Dallas Stars lead the almost said Dallas Red Wings. That was the old team, old minor league team there in Dallas. The Dallas Stars lead the Detroit Red Wings 2-0. Moving into some Major League Baseball action, but firstly, World Baseball Classic. Venezuela and Japan 1-1. Bottom of the first in a game going final. Italy, Zach, it's funny. Every time there's a World Baseball Classic, there's always a team that steals the spotlight away, and Italy has been one of them, with the espresso machine in the dugout. And, of course, a lot of Americans thank the Italians after they got beat by Team Italy. And, of course, Italy beat Mexico earlier in the week to get Team USA into the knockout stages of the World Baseball Classic. NBA, let's take a look at some quick scores here as we roll down the intermission timeline. Celtics take down the Washington Wizards 111-100. The Orlando Magic 71-55 at half over the Miami Heat. The Lakers 49. Nuggets of Denver 32. Some games going final in the NBA. 122 Hawks. Bucks 99. 76ers 104 over the Nets. Brooklyn 97. And the Spurs 115 to the Hornets 102. One game still on the NBA docket. Sacramento Kings take on the LA Clippers. That's all things considered. College basketball action. Let's get into some of that here real quick. It's conference championship week as the Ice Wolves make their way out of the Ice Bugs down to our right. Going to make the way out right now. So, real quickly here, PVAMU and Southern for the SWAC. 68-62 in favor of Prairie Valley. Toledo and Akron 52-51. Duke 36-29. Louisiana Tech trails Kennesaw State currently with 3:44 left in the first half. Some other games going final in college basketball. Arizona 79 to Houston 74. Vanderbilt, big upset over the Florida Gators, 91-74. The Commodores won that one, of course. In the Big Ten, meanwhile, Purdue 73, UCLA 66, and in overtime in the SEC, Arkansas took down Ole Miss in overtime. So it'll be the Razorbacks and the Commodores tomorrow for the SEC Men's Basketball Championship, as now both teams have made their way out onto the ice. The second period, as always, is brought to you by our friends at DeFata and Associates. Investigative and risk analysis services. Personal matters, child custody cases, or an internal theft problem within your business, just call our main man, Jerry DeFata, and the rest of his team at 318-635-9944 to discuss your case, or log on to defatapi.com. Jay DeFata, good guy. Very good guy.
About set to go here in the middle frame. 1-1 our score. Grayson Gerhard rifled one right off the face-off. That made it 1-0. Then Sean Gibbons a few moments later, his 25th of the season, tied us up at 1. We're right back to where we started here in New Mexico, and about set to go here for the middle frame. Teams have switched sides. Bucks will skate left to right here, looking to force the weekend split once again, and at least walk away with 2 points this weekend out of the possible 4. With especially, it's even more important now with Corpus Christi rebounding the way they have been doing against the Amarillo.
Yep, but nonetheless, signals thrown around, boys up on their feet, puck drop, let's get her going, brother. Second period.
It's picked up, launched ahead by Grayson Gerhard. We're off and rolling here in the second frame. It's Sean Smith, far corner. Wrapped around the boards, flipped up over top the net. Mexico will backhand it up towards the blue line, but not out of the zone as Gibbons will play it down. Leaves it into open ice, far side. McGilvray into the round to hit, and then got hit anyway, and they're going to call a penalty. I don't know about that one. Goes into the corner. The whistle blows. Looks like another head contact penalty. So it's going to be 2 minutes on Evan Hoagland, who has his palms to the sky, wondering what he did wrong, but the referee said he got him up high. So not even 30 seconds in. Bugs are going to be shorthanded here in a second.
Head contact, there you go. So Bugs, first choice personnel penalty kill, goes back to work. And again, just wanting to get back to that coach's keys of the game from Jason Soupy Campbell. Winning the special teams battle, especially this penalty kill with the reputation it has of the Bugs. You just want to win it. Their power play has been very good. Top 10 of the league is New Mexico's power play. But on the other side, in the inverse, as we all know, top 10 penalty kill for the Bugs. But again, it's just got to go to work here early. Does this first choice personnel penalty kill.
C-zone draw here. The Bugs PK sits at 84%. struggled a little bit last night in the couple of chances they gave the Ice Wolves. Here's Sean Smith, high slot, drives one through traffic, blasted it wide. Hodges never saw that. We got a guest PA announcer, it sounds like, here in the second period. Silverberg leaves it off to the left-hand side, brought up the ball by Smith. Smith in over the line now to the offensive zone. Smith tries to feed it towards the middle, and Remy got it away from him. With somebody on top of Hodges there, that was Sean Gibbon. Move all the way back up to the far point for Fairbanks. Snaps it across for Smith. Can't corral it cleanly. He gets it back, though, down low again for Fairbanks, looking for a play. He's got it at the blue line. Almost left it off for Smith. Hold on to it, though. Top left circle. Now fed down low into the corner. Gibbons tries to go off an off-angle shot. Rebound comes down in front. Andy Earl couldn't poke home the rebound as Hodges was out of his net trying to save the initial one, and then the Bugs cleared all the way down. Nice kill there with minute 10 to go still on the PK. That's quickly brought up to center by Fairbanks. To the right of the center circle, it's controlled. And over the line is Edberg. Edberg hit the brakes. Didn't see him much last night. It's usually a staple in this New Mexico lineup, and the Bugs clear another one down. Silverberg sent it near side. It's Cohen Harold now. Leaves it off, this time for Malashev. A minute and 40 seconds into the first. 44 seconds to go on the Bugs kill. Up ahead, it's Nyan Pine over the line. Got it right back. Slides up the wall for Harold. Harold, left point, in the slot, shoots one. Rebound comes out in front, and the Bugs almost were trying to play it. Garner can't corral it cleanly, still racing after it. Trying for an odd man rush, gets a shot anyway. Goes just wide of the net. If he had corralled that cleanly, Jared was looking at a breakaway as Nyan Pine gets it, almost overskates it, gets it back now to center ice. Up ahead for Cohen Harold. In over the line now, down the middle, looks for a play. Gingerly works off to the left-hand side, around the circles, wraps it around the boards now for Sprung. Sprung cycles towards the blue line, snaps it back across. Looking for a play, big drive for Malashev, lifted over the net, goes off of the board. Bounces back now as the penalty has expired. Bugs with a successful kill. Earhart out of the box is Hoagland. He touched it into the offensive zone. Zone away and right put off top of the glass, but not out. Jasser, one-time feed at point-blank range. What a stop for Silverberg. He sprawls to his right, and Duke Earhart, looking for his 6th goal in 4 games, gets robbed there.
No, you're absolutely right. Just the situational awareness. Again, now, the phrase of the day, word of the day, situational awareness. As Jonah Jasper was right here in front of us, trying to find Duke Earhart right, literally, quite literally on the doorstep. I do mean that. But Jackson Silverberg able to come up with the save there. But good news is, ozone face-off. So.
I think it's going to be Gabe Lopez Corsi in to take it. That's a new look out there for the Bugs at center. Here's John Burnt off to his right. Big drive through traffic. That's turned aside. Hoagland's going to race after with Sean Smith. Smith blew a tire and spins it out of the ice, but it's eventually controlled by Noah Tang. Tang works behind his net, comes up the near side for Hess. It was tipped that time by Grayson Gerhardt, and it Bugs for a turnover. Gerhardt down the slot. His shot pushed wide. Picked back up by Hoagland. Grayson's got it back at the left point. Grayson fires one again. That's a pad save that time. Kicked over to the wall, far side. Hoagland, off-angle shot. That got blocked away before it got to that. Noah Tang races after the loose puck. Up the wall for Hess. Hess up the near side boards over the red line and dumps it in from the blue line. Gets a shot on goal out of it. Hodges leaves it off into the corner. Noah Tang split the Bugs D, and he's whacking at the puck there in the corner. 16:40 to go. First period, we're tied at 1. Noah Tang works the puck free. Works over to the far side. Down low below the goal line. Slides it up to the blue line. Big drive there. Goes wide. John Burke got a piece of it. Still controlled by New Mexico in the slot. Now bounces near side. Mike Sveeten fires one off a one-time drive for the left point. Gerhardt got a piece of it. Getting held against the board there at the hash mark. Mitchell Reed comes in for his defense. Just about 4 minutes gone here after a successful kill for the Bugs. Shots 16-15 in favor of the Mudbugs in a 1-1 tie. Still controlled offensive end as the Bugs can't clear. It's Oscar Edberg in the corner being harassed off the puck. Bugs still can't work it free. High slot it comes. Backs for Masvian. Snaps it across right point. Bickler's drive through traffic. Never got to the net. It went off of Pekovic. And the Bugs now will play it as Grayson Gerhardt will lift it out of the blue line, but not out of the zone. Held in by Stanley Hubbard. Wraps it around the boards for Pekovic again. Behind the cage. Works off to the far side. John Burns shoves him off the wall. Puck bounces free to the near corner. Slid up the wall now for Masvian. Top of the left circle. Now works down low. Off-angle drive saved by Hodges. Bounces up top to the far point. Corralled off of the boards by Cohen Harold. Harold snaps it to the right circle. Big drive, and Hodges flashes the leather and hangs on for a whistle with 15:25. But the Bugs got to do a much better job defensively getting the puck out of the zone. That was a good minute 30 or so for the Ice Wolves.
Absolutely. The defensive effort from the Bugs has to be better. And even as they show the replay, once again, Duke Earhart being right on the doorstep. But it goes back to the other way. Bugs got to be better on the defensive effort. But as for Tyler Hodges, puck like glove, like metal to a magnet.
D-zone draw far side for the Bugs. 15:25. Left period number 2. Still shows first period on the board, so they got to play a lot of hockey here tonight. As it's played around the boards. Up the wall, but not out. Earl holds it in, goes in the corner for Gibbons. Gibbons will wrap it around the boards. Bucks pick it back up defensive end. Now they got to clear it out, and they do. Up ahead into the offensive zone is Jonah Jasser. Leaves it off for Tremblay. Tremblay double deke. His shot, rebound, comes through the crease. Comes back up top for Remy. He can't corral it cleanly. Now to 3-on-2 the other way. Ice Wolves into the zone. Shot there for the right circle. Kicked aside by Hodges. Bounces behind the cage. Wrapped around the boards for Harold. His one-time drive never got to the net. Bounces again. Flipped up in the air through the blue paint. Hodges got a piece of it. Hand pass washed out. Remy picks it back up at the far side. Pitchforks it up the boards back to center. Picked back up by Cohen Harold. Left to the center circle. He'll wrap it around the boards again. Comes far side as Remy's going to win a foot race to it. Sends it back the other direction as he takes a hit. And it's controlled again by New Mexico. High slot looking for a play. Bugs forced to turn over to the blue line and just barely get it out as Sprung has to retreat and backpedal into his own zone. Smith brings it up ahead, and the man going off for a change was Earl, but he didn't get off in time. That's an offside whistle. Stops the clock with 14:25.
Shreveport Mudbugs hockey tonight, as always, brought to you by our friends at Johnny's Pizza House. Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share slices of the best pizza in town, as well as Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill.
Face off at center, goes to Jared Griner, and he wins it back for Owen Case. Off to his right for Evan Adams. Sticks it up forward to the blue line and brought in. Semengo had a piece of it before it's gloved down by Jeremy Sprung as he forces the Bugs miscue. Up ahead, icing is going to be washed out. Goes on net. Hodges got a piece of it, leaves it off for Evan Adams. Far side now picked up by Simon. Simon's a lefty stick, banks it across far side. It's not going to be icing as it never got to the line. Here's Jared Griner, left circle at the hash marks. Overskates the puck, gets it towards the crease. Simons was cutting down the slot, couldn't get it to him though. Now back up top, it slides to the blue line for Owen Case, who got it down for a moment. Now a 3-on-1 developing on another Bugs turnover. Ice Wolves into the line, big drive down the slot. It's turned aside by Hodges. Comes up the near half wall. Tyler Hodges has been big tonight. Here's Brock Fairbanks, high slot, works off to his right, down to the bottom of the right ring. Now behind the cage, tries to wrap around. He sneaks it past Hodges. Got it between his skate blade and the post. And New Mexico with 2 unanswered has taken a lead 2-1 with 13:32 to go.
Always got to keep your eye on that man going behind the net, and the Bugs just took their eye off him. It looks like it'll be Brock Fairbanks with that goal. So again, you got to keep an eye on Brock Fairbanks, who comes into tonight 5'11", 160. So he's very speedy. A little tall too, but very speedy nonetheless is Fairbanks. And you just got to find, you just got to keep your eye on Fairbanks. And the Bugs took their eye off him, and now it's 2-1 New Mexico. So we look here on the
Brock
replay.
Fairbanks is 17th of the season, and again he just goes behind the net, and Hodges doesn't hug the post enough, and it squirts between his skate and the post. So New Mexico now out in front, 2-1 our score here. Early on in the second period, Bugs got the first goal. New Mexico answered with 2 of their own, so they're out in front for the first time tonight.
So it'll be Brock Fairbanks and Jeremy Sprung with the assist on that one. So yeah, but again, I think it has to be said enough. The defensive effort has to be better, especially in the second period for the Bugs. And now Jason Soupy Campbell is barking down towards his defensive core there. But there was a play actually earlier in the second period that could have. There was an on-man rush there, and Nando Poloni stuck his body down and was able to block it. But again, the defensive effort has to be better for the Bugs here. You don't want to fall behind and have to again claw your way back. Too much.
Face off at center ice up coming here. Looks like Evan Hoagland's going to take this draw at center ice. They wait for those Zamboni doors to close to the far side. And now ready to head back to hockey action. 13:32 left in the second. Picked up by John Burt. Dekes around a defender. Earhart will slap it into the zone, and he whiffed on it, barely got into the zone. Now Bickler behind the cage for Gibbons. Gibbons in the corner, shoved off the puck that time by Earhart. Flipped up the wall towards the blue line, and New Mexico's going to start the breakout again, moving right to left. Bugs stealed away for a moment at center. That was Gerhard who got a piece of it. Now trapped around the boards, far side for Fairbanks again. Bottom of the circle, slides it back up to the blue line right point. Snapped across Mosvian. His drive through traffic. He pushed it wide to the far side of that. Comes back behind the cage for Sprung to leave it off, but Evan Hoagland steals it away. Hoagland up ahead to the stick of Duke Earhart. He chipped it into the zone in a foot race that time with Bickler. Grayson Gerhard slaps at it, tries to poke it through Earhart's legs to the blue line, but it comes back out. New Mexico starts to break out again. Ice Wolves in over the line right side. Big drive for the right ring. Stopped by Hodges. They'll cover up for a whistle with 12:42 left. Shots now 20-17 in favor of New Mexico. They've had that crazy zone time in the second period thus far, and that's really been the difference so far in the frame.
Oh, absolutely. And again, it all goes back to turnovers and keeping that defensive effort as strong and solid, especially here in this second period, despite what the scoreboard might say, but nah.
Looks like we'll reset the draw here again. Faceoff comes far side, defensive end, controlled by New Mexico. But immediately stolen away by the Bugs. They try to flip it up the wall, turned over again, right in front of Hodges. Behind the cage, there's no tang with it. Spins off a defender, slides up the wall, intercepted that time by Remy Pusateri. Back to center, Julio, backhanded through his legs for Earhart, and no slap it in from the blue line. And it's picked up by Cohen Harrell, takes a check from Barrett. Julio slaps it towards the net, but goes behind the cage. Picked now up that time, big hit there at center ice. Brendan Schooley, the newcomer, didn't see him at all last night in the lineup, back out there tonight. Is dumped in. This is going to be an icing whistle with 12:04 to go here in a second.
And of course, all icing this season are brought to you by our friends at Lauder's Baking Company. And, you know, it's funny, I mentioned Bugs will see the Brahmas of Lone Star on Tuesday night, makeup game, and we actually have some ticket offers, so come on out to the pond and save some money. Firstly, the Go Green Beer Twig Ticket Package. $60 get you 2 tickets, 2 green beers, 2 beer twigs, and 2 boxes of that oh-so-delicious George's Pond popcorn. $60 using the code TWIG. That's TWIG. Purchase those tickets using that code. Once again, TWIG at tickets.georgespond34.com, as well as the family 4-pack ticket sale, $44, 4 tickets, 4 pregame skate passes, and 4 bags of that oh-so-delicious George's Pond popcorn. And that's using the code FAMILY at tickets.georgespond34.com, and call us at 318-636-7094 if you need more tickets.
Big drive there, goes off an Ice Wolf, back up into the ceiling, so we're going to do it again from the same spot. Hopefully a little more expedited this time on the draw.
Yeah. And you know what's funny, Zach? The ticket offers don't stop there. The Lucky Ladies ticket package, this is for the ladies 21 and older, 2 tickets, 2 wine glasses, with wine of course, and 2 bags and boxes of that, once again, oh-so-delicious George's Pond popcorn, $42 using the code LUCKY. Tickets.georgespond34.com. Once again, $42 using the code LUCKY. Tickets.georgespond.com. Tickets.georgespond34.com.
Adams shot that one. Nice save by Silverberg. Bank back out to center ice. Into the zone is Edberg. Edberg shoved off the wall in the far corner. Picked back up by Evan Adams again. Bugs trailed 2-1. 11:45 to go in the second period. Lee Tremblay poked away from him at the blue line. Evan Adams will turn and fire it, but the Bugs are going to have to tag up. Goes behind the cage. Picked up far side. Now sent back near side to Moskvitan. Can't corral it cleanly as Birchfield throws the hit around. Now Evan Adams couldn't corral it cleanly on his first attempt either, but it wraps around the boards now. Far side picked up by Petkovic, and he'll lift it out of the zone to center ice. Jonah Jasser sticks it down for John Burnt. Right in front of the penalty boxes. Back into the zone. Goes off of Smith. Birchfield was coming down, trying to work it free, but Stanley Hubbard forces it the other way. Hubbard over the line, bottom of the left circle. That shot turned aside. Simon will win the foot race to it. He's got it far side. Jason Simon works behind the cage. He's getting start in both games this weekend as well. Up Ed quickly. Over the line is Lopez Corsi. Goes off the edge of his stick, though. Got it into the corner, delivers the body, and that allows Simons to pick up the puck. He's got it escaped. Lopez Corsi also in there for some help, but Moskvitan's going to poke it free. And now New Mexico back again. Here's Pye. Overskated. That's offside. As we get the whistle here with 10:41 left here in the second period, and we should have immediate timeout the last whistle, and we're not going to get a hair either. So we're going to Where did I say that, of course. 10:41 left. We'll take a timeout here in the second period. 2-1 New Mexico on top.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
This is Alexis Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Mudbugs Hockey brought to you as always by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings Beer Sports. 10:41 left in the middle frame. 2-1 our score as the Ice Wolves have gone 2 straight. So now we've got a face-off coming up after the offside whistle. Right on top of the Pepsi face-off dots here at center ice.
I don't know, that's interesting. You know, it's weird. Of course, we back, and there goes Tyler Hodges to his net back. Might have
Say ready to drop the puck. He's not ready yet.
Yeah, well, no, but to the Pepsi face-off dots, those are interesting.
Is it just me who just noticed that now, or have I just been oblivious?
No, I literally just noticed it now myself.
And Hoagland couldn't stay on side. That'll be a whistle here and another neutral zone face-off with 10:34 left.
Right to the Pepsi face-off dot on the other, well, vertically on the other side of it. But no, I just noticed it now too. Like I thought it was blue or red, and I look at it and I'm like, no wait, there's a line going through that. I'm like, no wait, that is Pepsi. Hold up.
What is blue and red? We got that going for us.
Yeah.
And it's played far side, flipped up ahead. Earl goes over his head, far corner now. It's wrapped around the boards, comes near side, up the wall, 9 Pine, a foot race for it. Bucks are going to control the puck behind the cage as Mitchell Reed tries to work it free. Now comes far side for John Byrne, up the wall for Grayson Gerhard, lifts it to the middle. Tried to get it to himself, couldn't get through the screen. Now up ahead, big hit delivered here by Gibbons, knocks Reed off the puck. Goes into the corner for John Byrne, picked back up by Grayson. Exactly midway through the second period. 2-1 to score in favor of the Ice Wolves as Coed Harold will dump it in. Everybody tagged up. Goes in the far corner for Reed. Sends it around near side for John Byrne again. Byrne up the wall for Earhart. Duke's got it. Over the blue line for Grayson. Stolen away from him. Jeremy Sprung wraps it around the boards. Comes far side, and Hoagland's knocking people down back there. Now Earhart throws the body around as well. Comes up towards the blue line. The Bucks can't save it. Now it's going to be a foot race for it. Hodges wisely stays in the crease. Remy's going to win the foot race against Jeremy Sprung. Had him by about half a stride. That's a tall battle over there as well as it goes back out to center ice. Liam Talby picks it up over the center logo. Wide of Julio's stick. Back into the Bugs end. Picked up by Nandor. Nandor flips it far side to the Bugs blue line. Trying to get it out of the zone. Nandor's got it again. Works to his left. Split the D. Lost the puck, but he got it out to center ice. Played back ahead by Ryan Barrett. Through his legs for Nandor. Down the slot. His shot poked up over top the net. Got tipped on the way towards the net. He was looking for his first goal of the season. Now it's behind the cage. Bucks trying to work it free. McGilvery had a bug in a grasp there before he took him down. Now comes back up far side. In over the line. Fairbanks. Fairbanks down the slot. All alone. Backhand shot. Hodges makes a stop that time. Now comes back up for Smith. High drop. His drive. Stopped again by Tyler. Comes up the near side wall again to center ice. Dumped off the boards by Birchfield. Tries to get around the defender. Gets shoved off the wall that time. Bounces for Silverberg. The netminder who plays it behind the cage. Up the near side for Hess. Hess to the middle. Brought it over the line by Tang with speed. Trying to split the D, and Chancellor and Adams both got a piece of him. Knocked him off the puck. Goes far side into the offensive zone for New Mexico, though. 8:20 and rolling here in the second period. Tang from his knees trying to poke it out of the zone. Evan Adams still got a piece of it. Owen Case also in there on defensive help. 4-car pile up in the corner now. Works free for Charlie Birchfield. Works off to the near side of that. Intercepted again. Slid up top to the right point. Big shot there, goes wide. Off the back of the net. Picked up eventually now by 16 in green. That's Edberg. His shot trickles wide, and the Bugs will lift it out. Tried to lift it out. Went up into the ceiling and out of play. 7:56 left. Yeah, it's such a low ceiling here at the outpost.
No, it really is. And I mean, at Georgia's Bonnets, at Hirsch Coliseum, that I guarantee you probably would have at least, if not went all the way down for icing, it would have at least stopped little short, but no, just interesting as they watch the replay here. And Nandor Poloni trying to get, as you mentioned, his first goal of the year. And it's the guys that come in and out of the lineup, like Nandor Poloni and Gabriel Lopez Corsi. They show so much fire in their game when they're in the lineup. You love that, and you want to see more of that, but you just have to unleash it. I had a really good analogy, and I lost it, but you know what? Different place, different time.
It was off the side of the net that time. There was a fun exchange during the whistle that probably nobody except me saw. We'll get to that in a moment. As soon as we have a stoppage, as the puck is brought up now by Jared Greiner. Works through the middle. Up ahead for Semenko. Nice pass for Joe. His shot. Turned aside. Rebound comes up for John Byrne. He was going to one-time it. Wisely held on to it. Tried to feed it again in front for Hoagland. Or Greiner, rather, he went just wide. Now back the other way. Ryan Pye off to his right for Gibbon. That's an offside whistle. And then Reed sends it as the play goes. So Willie got the puck at center, and the linesman was calling for it. Willie deked around him and tried to flip it to him, and he missed it. And the linesman threw his hands up like, what are you doing, for trying to lift it to him? And Willie did the same thing to him for not catching it. So that was a little fun exchange here after the whistle. But Willie Tremblay, quite the showman out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's dumped in. Poloni will track it down for Remy, who banks it off the wall for Duke Earhart at center ice. In neutral, turned over, picked out by Stanley Hubbard now, works back into his own end. Sent near side for Smith, up the wall, goes to the Bugs, back defensive end. 7:10 to go, second period, 2-1 to score in favor of the Ice Wolves. Goes into the corner now, centering feed in the slot, goes wide that time with the stick of Edberg. Smith slides it back down low for Edberg. He shoved off the puck, but give it away right out on front, cutting towards the net. That time were the Ice Wolves, but Hodges got a piece of it, slid up the wall. Now back behind the cage for Hubbard. Hubbard, right circle, rifles one wide, lifted over the net, comes back on the near side again, picked back up by Edberg behind the cage. And now Nandor has got it in his skates, holding it against the wall here as the clock winds down to the second period, 6:38 and rolling. Now it's Oakland to the right of the center circle. He gains the line, lost the puck, corralled it back cleanly before Smith knocked him off the puck again. They both tumble down into the corner. Now after on the boards, far side, held it at the point. Big drive. It's Oakland at point-blank range, goes off the top of the glass. He got denied, comes near side for Gerhardt. Gerhardt slides up the wall for Adams, holds it in at the right point. Wrapped off the boards for Earhart, drop back for Evan Hoagland. Stolen away by New Mexico, and they will start the breakout. Bugs can't set that up offensively. Brought in over the line by Fairbanks. Hits the breaks at the circle. Down the slot. Waiting for it was Malashev. That one got turned aside. Now flipped up to the blue line, but not out. Fairbanks holds it in the slot. Feeds it back off to the right for Sprung. One time down the slot, he scores. And the Bugs can't clear it out, and it leads to a New Mexico goal. Another turnover, and it's 3-1 with 5:55 to go in the second.
Another turnover there leads to a New Mexico goal. And I hate to harp on it, but it's the truth. A bad turnover caught in the slot by the Ice Wolves leads to this 3-1 Ice Wolves lead. Grayson Garrett was trying to find somebody out in front, and there's two sides to that. You got to have the puck and situational awareness, again, that word, to know that, hey, Grayson Garrett's going to throw it right in the middle. But at the same time, if you're Grayson Gerhardt, you got to know, hey, look at your surroundings. Believe me, I hate harping on these guys because I know these guys play so well as you look at the replay here. And it's just, and I hate harping on these guys, like I just said, because these guys are talented. But the problem is, mistakes like that cost teams hockey games, and it's evident. And then even on the goal side of things, Tyler Hodges, nothing to criticize about him. He tried to get back in position as best as he could, but looks like Sprung will have that goal. Again, it just goes back to the turnovers.
I say maybe that second goal Hodges probably wants back, the wraparound goal, but yeah, the other two were giveaways in front of him. So now he's got face-off at center ice, got to regroup here. We saw what can happen. They scored 3 goals in the third period last night. Yep. They trail by 2 here late in the second. 5:55 left to go. Little frame as they're getting all the Wolves off the ice here. A couple of late additions. Waiting for the doors to close now as we sit in suspended animation. There we go. Now we're back to action here. 5:55 left. So Charlie Birchfield in to take the draw as he looks around to his teammates trying to pump everybody back up. And Here comes the draw at center. Kisai wins it back to the blue line, and New Mexico controls the faceoff. Then up ahead, touched into the zone that time by 9 in green. That's Kisai. Comes far side now, picked up by the Bugs. Try to pitch it up the wall. Held in at the blue line. Big hit there. Now everybody's kind of getting intense here with a goal. Now a 2-goal deficit. And the Bugs trying to work their sticks free. Now comes near side up ahead for Tremblay. Willie dumps it in from the blue line. Jasser in a foot race with Bickler. He shoves Bickler off the puck. Bugs force the turnover. Birchfield lifts it towards the goal. This gets picked up behind the goal line by Bickler. Bickler up the far wall. Up ahead, this is going to go for icing if Burnt can win the foot race, and he does for his stoppage with 5:16 left in the second.
All licensed decisions are, as always, brought to you by our friends at Louder's Baking Company. That's Louder Baking Company. But Bugs get an ozone draw face-off, and so gotta build it here.
Evan Hoagland to take the draw for the Bugs. He's had a great season in his first year with Shreveport. 15 goals, 24 assists for 39 points. Had an assist yesterday, or a goal yesterday, rather. Here's Pusateri, wraps it around the boards. Offensive end for the Bugs. Far side for Gerhard, grabs it behind the net. He's been big as well. He had the first Bugs goal. Remy, D2D, can't get it to Nandor cleanly. It comes back out to center. Now Poloni will lift it in, gets a shot on net out of it. Silverberg to play it, leaves it off to the near wall. Blast all the way, outlet pass doesn't connect, and that's going to be another icing whistle here with 4:50.
Once again, Bugs get another ozone face-off, and again, you just got to build up on that. And it's just a matter here, 4:50 left. But yeah, that's just where I stand on that.
Another ozone drop coming here for Hoagland. Right face-off dot to the stick side of Silverberg. Now we're going to have another center thrown out here.
Or not.
Just going to reset. Goes to the wall for Bickler. Rifled it off the board. Took a hop off the middle part of the stanchion, and Gerhard got the puck. Offensive end towards the crease. Couldn't get the tip from Duke. Now goes high slot for Earhart, who turns and fires one towards that. That got blockered away in front. Ice Wolves pick it up, bank it off the board. Takes another weird hop. Adams holds it in. His drive in front, trying to get the tip, and then Gerhard gets cross-checked after the whistle, and that's going to start all heck breaking. Lucas Bickler knocked him down from behind. Now Duke Earhart's got his head wrapped by Moskvitin that time, and the linesman step in. That'll stop time here with 4:30 as Grayson was just waiting for the tip. Never touched Silverberg in net. Wasn't even in the blue paint, and Bickler took exception to that for some reason and cross-checked him well after the whistle.
Especially watching the replay here. Yeah, there you go. Right there, Bickler just, for a lack of a better term, just chops down Grayson Gerhard right there, and then as you mentioned, all heck breaks loose.
It's funny, when he cross-checked Grayson, he knocked him into Silverberg. That was the first time he got hit on the play.
Yeah, exactly.
There's Semengo near side, and we're going to do that draw again, and now they'll throw Earl out. Pye will have to come back in. Semengo at the right circle. Griner wins it back towards the blue line, gets it for Evan Adams. Spins off a defender, trying to get it for Lopez Corsi. Now feeds it around the board. Comes far side, eventually tracked down by Jace Erickson. Behind the cage now it's Cohen Harold. Backhanded back across to Erickson, and now Sean Gibbons will start the breakout up the far half wall. Crossed ice feed for Earl, doesn't connect. Close race, but Evan Adams going to win it for icing. With 4:10 to go here in the second period. 3-1 to score in favor of the Ice Wolves. It's 3 unanswered after the Bugs got the opening lead.
Evan Adams had almost a half-step stutter, I think, on him. Well, not half-stutter step, but just almost a half-step on there to get the icing and send the puck back down to the ozone for another ozone face-off. And Charlie Birchfield will take it. So, again, just build up on it.
The face-off here to the left dot, offensive end, controlled, though, by New Mexico. In front of their net, near side for Nyan Pye. Big hit there behind the play. Pye slaps it across for Erickson. Erickson takes a hit as well from Birchfield. As the intensity picking up here, Charlie gets it back. At center, lifts it into the zone, goes off of Erickson and doesn't go over the blue line. And down to Mexico, back the other way, 2-on-2 as Birchfield still mixing up behind the play with Nyan Pye. Centering feed there, bounces far side for Nyan from the circle. His one-timer stopped by Hodges, gotten back. Though it's Smith who can't corral it cleanly top of the slot. Now works around the boards into the near corner it goes. John Burke got a piece of it now for Reed. Reed up to the middle, to the blue line for Jonah Chasser. Off to the right for Tremblay. Willie will move it in, and Jonah couldn't split the knee as he got rubbed off the puck. Gets it in the corner, wraps it around the boards, comes near side, picked up that time again by Erickson, or Hedberg rather, brings it up ahead for Petkovic. Icing and offside, both waved off. Comes far side now for Evan Hoagland. Tries to play it, or Wolf Talby rather, tries to play it. 4-car pile up there. Liam had to go through his skates. New Mexico looking for a tripping call. Not going to get one here as Hubbard tries to pitch it into the corner. Bugs pick it back up behind Hodges. Off to the left for Wolf Talby. Wolf Talby down below the goal line, leaves it off for Remy Pusateri. Bugs having some trouble getting out of the zone. Now it's up ahead for Vinny Giulio. 2:50 to go in the second. Up ahead for Wolf Talby down the slot. Couldn't get it cleanly. Petkovic takes a big hit, and Giulio blows a tire and goes down as he tried to get the loose puck. Up ahead it's Edberg. Off to the right of the center circle. Gains the zone. Down to the bottom of the right ring. He'll wrap it around the boards. Comes near side in the corner. Tracked down by Malashev. Malashev has it stolen away from him as Evan Adams picks it up. Works behind the net. 2:29 and rolling here in the second frame. 3-1 New Mexico in front. Adams working off to his right. Now Remy sticks it across. Turned over at the blue line. Here's Sprung. His drive goes up into the net and off the American flag for a whistle here with 2:16 left in the middle frame.
The fortunate thing there is that it went out of play, but again, as we mentioned, it almost looked like how the Ice Wolves got that third goal, a turnover right from the corner into the point. But again, it was fortunate to go out of play. Of course, Hall puck's out of play. Johnny's Pizza House, brought to you by Johnny's Pizza House. Johnny's Pizza House, let's share a slice of the best pizza in town.
So here's Earhart. Cross ice feed up ahead for Hoagland. Touches it into the zone. Eventually picked up by Damon Bickler, though, and he gets knocked off the puck by Gerhard. Wraps it around the boards, comes near side, and a huge hit there in the corner as Hoagland's knocking people down. Adams forces the turnover into open ice for Earhart at the circle. His shot turned aside by Silverberg. Rebound comes out in front, squirts on net. It's a piece of the netminder, goes off the side of the cage. Earhart gets it back. He fires one from point-blank range. That is stopped and started back the other way by New Mexico. Ice Wolves in over the line, dropped off for Sprung, down the slot, left circle, one-time drive, pushed just wide as Hodges had to fall down and might have gotten a piece of it. Goes around the boards again. Sprung, centering feet up ahead for Grayson Gerhardt. Gerhardt around Bickler, will backhand it out to center ice, picked up by Cohen Harold at his own blue line. Harold works off to the right of the center circle, dumped in, it's eventually picked up by Owen Case. 80 seconds to go, second period. Up ahead for Griner, outlet pass on the connect. Silverbird's going to have to play because Jared was going to be the first one to get to that puck by about 1.5 miles. It's played now by Hess. Out towards center ice. Adams trying to work the puck free of him. Goes far side now. Stepping in front of it was Simon to knock it into the zone. But eventually picked back up by Cohen Harold. Final minute here of the second period as he wraps it up the board. Semengo's going to win the foot race to it. Then gets hauled down in the corner. Behind the cage. It's wrapped around far side now for Simons. Simons has it in his skates now for John Burt. Snaps it back across into open ice for Semengo. Semengo banks it off the boards up ahead for Griner, who was waiting for it, and this is going to be an icing whistle. And Griner couldn't corral it because he was trying to stay onside. That'll stop time with 44.6 left here in a second.
And Brett Smith asking about that icing call. Now, as they're showing the replay on NACV, now let's take a look at when it went down the other end. So it looks like, I think Hodges got at least, if nothing else, like a skate on it, I think. It's fun seeing the replay on the big board. You can't see the exact minute detail, but I think if nothing else, he got a skate on it. Good awareness there by Tyler Hodges.
Going to reset the draw again. Earl wins it back towards the blue line. Nyan Pye wraps it into the corner below the goal line for Gibbons. Gibbons off the side of the cage. Gotten back by John Burner. Lifted out of the zone. And this puck is going to spin end over end like a tire that time, but it doesn't get all the way down. 30 seconds to go in the second. Up ahead, far side now for Nyan Pye. Cutting down the slot. Right circle towards the net. Backhand shot. Trying to one-time it for Earl. He tried to whack it past the post. Hodges does a good job of sealing all the points of entry that time. Birchfield through the skate to the referee. Wraps it around the boards. Comes far side. Picked up with 12 seconds to go. Bugs got to clear it out of the zone here late in the second period. Birchfield knocks a man off the puck. John Burns got it in his skates. He's going to do the smart thing and hold on to it. A 6-car pile up there in the corner. They're pushing at each other, and that's going to be the end of the second 20 minutes. So New Mexico adds another goal. It's 3-1 after 2 here. And, well, a tough period defensively for the Bucks trying to get out of the zone.
Absolutely. And looks like Charlie Birchfield down there on Harold there where they were yapping away at each other, but linesman Briscoe there was able to separate him, and now Reed's going yapping at him too. So Going to be a feisty third period, but no, as you mentioned, Zach, Eisel was able to get two goals on the board, one of which was off a wraparound goal there from Brock Fairbanks. And again, as I said in the moment there, you can't take your eye off Brock Fairbanks. And then the third goal from Jeremy Sprung, assisted from Anton Malashev and the aforementioned Brock Fairbanks. You just can't turn over the puck. It goes back to that situational awareness. You have to keep that puck awareness. Basically, the word of the day, awareness. That has to be the Bugs' word of the game, especially the word of the period. But that's all I got on that front as this Sonic Drive-In second intermission show rolls on. And Zach, it's funny, I was doing some scoreboard watching, and, well, Amarillo, they still trail Corpus Christi 5-1, so Corpus Christi has, well, for lack of a better phrase, rebounded nicely from their overtime loss. And Lone Star in Oklahoma, they're still at 3-2, and they're just getting underway in the third period there at the Blazers Ice Center, just outside of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And I do mean like just right outside of it, but nonetheless, it's going to be a fun few weeks left in the South Division. But on the other side, Zach, what do we got?
Listen to Today in the NA, sitting down with our very own Remy Pusateri on the other side of the break here at the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Do you know that Shreveport Regional Airport offers more daily flights than any other nearby airport? Daily flights to Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Denver, and Houston means you're one stop from anywhere in the world. Make the short drive to Shreveport and start your vacation sooner.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
Get ready, Louisiana! Johnny's Pizza House is turning up the heat with our sweet the swamp pizza. Packed with crawfish, shrimp, a taste of crab, andouille sausage, bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, and a blend of Cajun spices, all smothered in delicious mozzarella cheese. It's the perfect bite of the bayou and the perfect meal for any Cajun crave. Try our Cajun Flint or dive into a sweep the swamp pizza bowl. A taste of Louisiana flavor is waiting on you. Let's share a slice today at Johnny's Pizza House.
Hey, Mudbug fans, if you're looking for the perfect spot for a birthday party, corporate event, school trip, or any other private outing, just call us at George's Pond here at Hirsch Coliseum at 318-636-7094 to book your event today. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 here at George's Pond inside Hirsch Coliseum.
This is Alexis Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Welcome back into the second intermission report brought to you by our friends at Sonic Drive-In. This is how we Sonic. Tough second period for the Bugs, allowing 2 New Mexico goals. It's now 3 unanswered for the Ice Wolves, and they lead 3-1 going into the third and final frame. And now, before we get you set for the third period, as promised, here Stay in the NA, sitting down with our very own Remy Pusateri.
Weekend, 6 teams punched their ticket to the Robertson Cup playoffs. With less than 1 month of games left until the postseason, the countdown is on. This week on Today in the NA, we catch up with Teddy Richardson, a NHL veteran, as he takes us through his clutch performance on Saturday night.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, like, we were just trying to stay in the game and just, like, not really give up on it. Like, we knew, like, I mean, the goalie was playing, he played pretty good all night, so just getting to the net and, like, doing whatever we can to, like, get a goal, obviously. And then, like, I don't know, like, the puck just kind of, like, popped out to me and just, like, hit it on net. And, I don't know, like, a bunch of traffic and stuff. And it went in, I guess, yeah, like, with about 20 seconds left. And it was a huge moment for our team, obviously. But, I mean, the bench, like, exploded. And, like, you could feel the energy, like, in the building right away. Like, it was a big night. Like, it was the Brave to Shave night, like, for us. So that's, like, a big weekend at Bismarck. And, I mean, it was a great feeling. Like, we had battled all night. Like, we didn't start our best, obviously. But, I mean, like, we found a way to tie it up. And then like, we found a way to win it. And that's what mattered most. Like, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done. So, good stuff.
Yeah, and talking about winning the game for yourself, you helped force the game into overtime, then you delivered the overtime game-winning goal. What was that moment like, especially inside of that arena? I know it was already packed, so what was it like when you got it done in overtime?
Like it means a lot to like contribute to the team like in a moment like that, but it's really about like helping the team like get the win. Like everyone in our locker room, like we work pretty hard. Like we work pretty hard throughout the week, and being able to come through like for the team in overtime, like it's a great feeling. And at the same time, like that doesn't happen like without like my teammates and stuff like that. Like everyone like supporting you, like telling you like you're gonna go out there and get that goal, like you're gonna be the guy, and like that just like takes one good play and like one opportunity and like just like to make it happen. And luckily like it went our way, and being able to help the team in like a situation like that, it's like always something special. And just like playing in front of like the crowd in Bismarck, it's always like pretty electric, so super exciting.
With that performance on Saturday night, you helped seal your team a postseason spot. How does it feel to know that your team has the opportunity to have that Robertson Cup run?
Like every team wants to secure playoff spots. Like obviously it feels like really good. Like I went to the playoffs last year and it was pretty exciting. Like it's definitely different hockey, but our team's like been working for that all season, and I haven't been here all year, but like the process and stuff like coming right in, like I can kind of see all that, and it's nice to see that like all the hard work we've been doing since I've been here is paying off. And like obviously the job's not finished yet. Like we want to get first place, and like we want to be the top team in our division, and we have the guys to do that and like the personnel to do that. And like we just need to keep building every game until like the postseason. Like we have a lot of confidence in each other, and like we believe in each other. Like if we keep playing the right way, like we're definitely going to get the chance to play in the Robertson Cup. And I think we're looking forward to that challenge, and like we really think we can beat any team to make it there, and the team that we're going to play there. So I think we're ready for the challenge, and it's going to be good.
And for yourself, you touched a little bit about this. You were recently acquired by the Bismarck Bobcats. You just wrapped up your 12th game playing for the team, and you made an impact. In the 6 weeks played, you have walked away with a Central Division Star of the Week honors in 3 of them. What does that adjustment process look like for you joining a new team, and ultimately what's working so well?
Yeah, like this, especially like the adjustment here has been like super smooth. Like from the moment I got here, the guys like in the locker room, like super welcoming, and like especially the coaching staff, like they really made it easy for me to settle in. And just like that kind of environment makes like a really big difference when you join a new team. Like personally, like I just came in like just play my game, like work hard, and just like kind of earn everyone's respect and do whatever I can to help the team win. And when you're surrounded by like a good group of guys, like good teammates, and like a strong culture, it really makes everything easier. And I think our team has been playing like really well together. Like the new guys aren't new guys anymore, and like we're really starting to figure it out and come together. And I've just been like fortunate to come in and like just contribute and like really be a part of this group, and just like take it to the next level, and just like keep getting better and keep winning and moving on.
With a playoff ticket punched for the Bobcats, another team that secured their spot in the postseason on Saturday night was the New Mexico Ice Wolves. Before that postseason berth was secured, they had a skivvy toss on Friday night.
Toss those skivvies!
With donations collected for a local nonprofit in Albuquerque, New Mexico, all of the donations are providing school clothing to local K-12 students in need through Locker 505 Student Clothing Bank. Continuing with special nights and promotions, the Ice Wolves will be looking to have the luck of the Irish on their side as they rock green jerseys against the Shreveport Mudbugs this weekend. We caught up with Tim Huco as he talks about how important the last stretch of games are heading into the postseason.
Yeah, I mean, these next 8 games for us, I mean, they're going to be the most important games we've had this season. I mean, we're fighting for something. Even though we've clinched, I mean, we want that bye. I mean, that bye would be really huge for us coming down the stretch to playoffs. I mean, having that extra week to prepare, rest the bodies and everything like that would be huge. And yeah, every weekend's going to be treated like a playoff series for us too. We want to win each of these series in our next 8 games and stuff. And yeah, I mean, we're fighting for something, and we want to get it done. So.
Absolutely. And looking ahead to this upcoming weekend, the Shreveport Mudbugs are coming into town. And so far this season, the series has been split between both teams. What will be the difference maker for this upcoming weekend for New Mexico in order to skate away with a full 4 points?
Yeah, I mean, Shreveport's a physical team, and they're big as well, and they have a lot of skill to back up their game. So I think something that we have to do as from our team is we just have to out-physical them just right from the beginning and kind of just set that tone for the rest of the series. Another thing I think that we need to do is kind of win the special teams battle. I mean, obviously in the power play, we want to score goals, right? But on the penalty kill, I mean, we have to make sure we're blocking shots, getting our sticks in lanes and everything like that. Because when we kill off those penalties, that gives us momentum for when we're back on 5-on-5. So that's another huge thing for us, I think, this weekend going on against Shreveport.
Absolutely. And for yourself, you're a second-year veteran of the Ice Wolves. How have you seen your game grow while playing for the New Mexico organization?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I've seen with my game since I've been here with New Mexico is just kind of doing the little things right. Our head coach, Cal McKenzie, is big on the details, the little things. I mean, that includes getting pucks out of the defensive zone, tracking back in our D zone, filling in lanes in the O zone, just little things like that. And over time, that builds up, to big things, right? And I think that's something that he's telling us that just translates to the next level, kind of what scouts are looking for and whatnot. And so I think since my time here in New Mexico, I've really learned that, and I think that's really going to help me going forward.
And reflecting on your performance last weekend, the New Mexico Ice Wolves were able to clinch that South Division spot. Like you said, how exciting was that moment, knowing that you guys punched a ticket for the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, we were definitely happy, but I mean, you kind of want to have a memory of a goldfish. I mean, you want to enjoy that time, but you want to forget about it and just keep on going. Because I mean, we still obviously want to win the Robertson Cup Finals. I mean, that's the end goal. So clinching at the end of the day doesn't mean anything until we're hoisting the cup. So.
As the Shreveport Mudbugs make their road trip to New Mexico, the series is tied between the teams. We spoke with Remy Pusateri as he shares the lessons his team has learned from playing New Mexico in the past.
Well, they're a fast, physical team, but I believe we have more depth in our roster, and when we play physical brand of hockey, we're unstoppable.
Yeah, and right now Shreveport is in the hunt for the postseason, sitting in a play-in spot. How important are these games down the stretch for the Shreveport Mudbugs and securing a postseason run?
They're very important. If we can clinch that fourth spot, play at home, it's huge.
And talking about playing at home, the Shreveport Mudbugs are coming off having a 7-game homestand. What has that experience been like for you? You're a second-year veteran of the team to compete at that arena and in front of that fan base.
I mean, it's nothing short of awesome. Truly, I'll say it day in and day out, Shreveport's the best place to play.
Why is that? What stands out the most to you?
Well, we sell out almost every night, so that helps a lot. But no, the fans here are great. The food's awesome. Mm-hmm. Just everything around the arena is better than I could ever ask for.
Absolutely. And talking a little bit about your team, the Mudbugs feature a division best PK. How have you seen your team really utilize that, especially in picking up wins? And ultimately, how do you use that for this upcoming weekend against the Ice Wolves?
Well, we're a feisty team. We play a strong, heavy brand of hockey. So we eventually will get those penalties, and that PK will swing the momentum for us and get us back on track.
Who takes the victory tonight? Will the Mudbugs take the win on the road, or will the Ice Wolves have the luck of the Irish on their side? Head to our Instagram story to cast your vote. Now let's take a look around the NA at some key series you need to watch. Starting things off in the Central Division, the Aberdeen Wings have the chance to clinch a postseason spot this weekend. First, the Wings will need to sweep the Bobcats. Second, the Wings will need help from their fellow statesman, Watertown, who will need to sweep North Iowa in regulation. Heading east, a run for the Robbie could be on the Maine Nordiques' hands. First, Maine must secure 4 points this weekend against a team who is on a 3-game win streak against them. In addition, the Nordiques will need the division-leading Maryland Black Bears to sweep the Johnstown Tomahawks this weekend. If those scenarios are met, the Maine Nordiques could clinch a spot in the postseason. Staying in the East, the Maryland Black Bears have defended their den all season and could be the first team in the league to clinch their division. The Black Bears have led the pack in the division and league. They featured the best win percentage in the North American Hockey League, winning 41 out of their 50 games. This weekend, they will need to produce just 1 point against the Johnstown Tomahawks for the division title. Finally, we head down south as the Lone Star Brahmas look to join the division title clinching party. Year after year, Lone Star continues to be a contender in the postseason. Last season, the Brahmas made it all the way to the Robertson Cup championship game and won the title the year prior. With a desire to make the trip back to Blaine, Minnesota, the Brahmas will look to sweep while relying on the Shreveport Mudbugs sweeping the New Mexico Ice Wolves on the road. If those series play out to Lone Star's favor, they will have clinched a South Division title on Saturday night. Plenty of important hockey down the stretch in March, so make sure to tune in live to NATV. Don't forget, tonight is the NATV free game of the week as the Janesville Jets take on the Anchorage Wolverines.
Alrighty, that was today in the NA, and just about ready to go here in the third period. We'll take a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Again, some important games here this weekend, and there's already been some crazy drama in the South Division, but again, it just continues to be the way that it's been all season long. Here is the Bugs trail 3-1 heading into the third and final frame of regulation here tonight from the outpost. Coach Soupy Campbell, assistant coach Brett Smith, and head athletic trainer Hunter Robinson make the trek across the ice back to the bench here as we count it down to the third period here. Once our technical issues want to subside here, we'll take a look at that out-of-town scoreboard. A couple of key games going on this week in Lone Star in Oklahoma. Lone Star was 6-4 victors yesterday. They had a 3-2 victory here tonight, out shooting Oklahoma 28-19, so they sweep the weekend from the Warriors. That'll help out the Bugs. The Warriors are right behind Shreveport in that 6th place spot, so that's going to, again, give the Bugs some breathing room with Oklahoma also dropping both of their games. Corpus Christi still up 5-1 on Amarillo with 16 minutes to go in the third period there. Nick Sinani has had a big night for the Ice Rays. We've had 5 different goal scorers, and they're out shooting Amarillo 22-13. So that does not help the Bugs. Amarillo currently sits in 4th, a spot that Bugs are trying to reach to be able to host a first-round playoff game. We'll take a quick timeout. Third period coming your way next here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Hey, this is Tyler Hodges, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Third period about to get set underway here. 3-1 the lead in favor of the New Mexico Ice Wolves. They have 3 unanswered goals after Grayson Gerhard got the scoring started for the Bugs early on in that first period. Before we start the third period here, let's take a look at our game summary now. Grayson Gerhard again got the first goal of the game, his 14th of the season. Evan Hoagland with the assist at the 9:33 mark. Sean Gibbons followed up with his 25th of the season at the 6:59 mark of the first. 2 goals in the second period for the Ice Wolves, Brock Fairbanks and Jeremy Sprung. The goal scorers that we are back underway. Bugs trail by 2 goals. They got 3 third period goals last night, looking to replicate the magic here on this Saturday. Zach Grant, Duncan Welker with you here. 5 from the outpost. Bugs return home. There's a big shot from McGilvery. It's covered up by Hodges for a whistle with 19:44. And as I mentioned, the Mudbugs return home tomorrow night, or Tuesday night rather, 7-11 puck drop against the Lone Star Brahmas for St. Tommy's Day, celebrating St. Patrick's Day and the birthday of our owner, Tommy Scott. Be sure to get your tickets now. Tickets at GeorgesPond34.com, and then enjoy some hockey as the Bucks return home for a single game before heading back out on the road next weekend against the Odessa Jackalopes. Andy Earl gets thrown out of the draw. It's going to be Sean Gibbons now. Gibbons wins into the corner. John Burt tracks it down to wrap it around the board's far side. Picked up that time by Willie Tremblay. Tremblay's got it at the far wall. Picked up now by Mitchell Reed. Wrapped around the boards, and it goes on net. And Hodges will hang on for a whistle. 27 seconds into the third. Shots 27-21 in favor of the Ice Wolves here. After that Odessa series on the road, there'll be 2 more weekends of the season, both at home, as the Bugs will welcome in the El Paso Rhinos to close out the season, as well as the Corpus Christi Ice Rays in the final 2 weeks of the year. So Amarillo Wranglers rather, last 2 weeks of the year. So plenty of hockey still left to go, although we're coming down to the stretch. Just a couple of weeks remain. 3 weekends, and then, of course, a makeup game later on this week on Tuesday. Here's Owen K. Snaps it open ice for Tremblay. Tremblay down the right wing. He fires one, save by Silverberg. Watches it into his glove. It hits his chest and hangs on for a whistle 45 seconds in to the third period. Again, Bugs currently sit in 5th place. A couple of points up on Oklahoma. The good news is, no matter the outcome of this game, Oklahoma will not jump the Bugs as they drop both of their games against the Lone Star Brahmas at home, nonetheless. So the Bugs will not drop to 6th. There's Adams. Big drive for the left point. That never got to the net, and it's going to be brought back the other way. New Mexico, and over the line, left side. Wrapped off into the corner. Owen Case providing some help with Duke Earhart. Squirts free of the net, comes near side. Started up the ice for Grayson. Grayson will flip it from center ice. Icing washed out as it's played by Cohen Harold. Harold to the right of the net will backhand it up, or try to backhand it up to the blue line. Hoagland steps in front of it, got a piece of it. Into the corner goes, up the half wall. Earhart provides some help, trying to work it free, but the Ice Wolves started out to center ice. Evan Adams will dump it back in, but they'll have to tag up with the Bugs. Minute and 22 seconds into this third period. Now the New Mexico Ice Wolves bring it up the far wall and over the line into the zone. Poloni racing after it, goes around his net, will play it up the wall. It looks like New Mexico's Ice Wolf lost their stick. Poloni might have got a piece of it there as he tried to clear the puck on the follow through. DiUlio can't slap it out of the zone. Picked back up near side by the Bucks. It's flipped off the glass all the way back up into the New Mexico end. This is going to be icing with 18:11 to go. Stops time here in the third period. Faceoff comes all the way back down. Tyler Hodges having a good start at net. He stopped 24 of 27, and 2 of those goals were off of turnovers right out in front of him. And the other one was one he probably wants back, but nonetheless. Bugs still in the hockey game, only down by 2 with 18 minutes to go. Fairbanks in to take it offensive end for New Mexico. And now it looks like he's going to get thrown out of the draw. Another just going to reset here. The linesmen this weekend have been very meticulous with the face-offs as Fairbanks has it tied up off the draw. And it's slapped around the boards by Nandor, but not out. Held in at the right point. The Pusateri on the second chance clear. Get it all the way down. It's going to be another icing. We're going to bring it all the way back down. Exactly 2 minutes into the third period. The Bucks trying to sneak a late change in there, but not going to be able to do so successfully as the referee's all over it. And face-off comes now off to the glove side of Tyler Hodges. Andy Earle's going to take this one. He lines up across from Charlie Birchfield. The 2 of the best centers that I've seen in the division, in my humble opinion. And this one's tied up off the draw. They both fall on top of it. Birchfield eventually spins down Earle to the ice and try to get the puck out. Does not, though. It goes far side for Remy Pusateri. Remy up the wall, held in by Nyan Pai. One time from the blue line, over top the net. Comes back near side. The Bucks trying to break it out of the zone here. But it's again held into by New Mexico. Nandor's got it behind the cage. Flips it around the far boards. Held in by the Ice Wolves at the left point. Down low into the corner. Centering feed there. Tipped by Gibbons, goes off the top of the glass and comes near half wall where it's picked up again by the Bucks. Ryan Barrett turns it over at the blue line as Pye holds it in. He gets knocked out as he shoots one. Hodges got a piece of it to kick it to the wall. Rebound for Gibbons. He gets it right back, tries to split the D, lost the puck, and Birchfield will lift it out of the zone to center. Glove down on top of the center red line by Jeremy Sprong. Good battle there for the puck. It's Andy Earle who slaps it back into the zone, and Remy and Mitchell Reed out there on defense. Now it's set up the wall for Semengo. Snaps it across into open ice for Birchfield. Couldn't corral it cleanly. Gets knocked down, trying to draw a penalty. Back the other way, 3-on-2 developing. New Mexico around John Burnt below the cage. Looking to cycle it back up to the blue line. Left off for Hubbard. Hubbard centering feet that time for Edberg. He's got it top of the right circle. Edberg to the blue line. Fires one. That one's turned aside and it's picked up by Simon's far side. Wraps it near side for John Burnt now as he tries to play it up the half wall. Harold steers away. Big drive through the blue paint. Hodges got a piece of it. It's lifted out of the zone to center ice. And it's rifled back in. They've got to tag up to the Ice Wolves, and they do. Now John Burnt's got it. Wraps it around the boards. Comes far side. 16:30 left to go in the third. 3-1 Ice Wolves on top. Here from Albuquerque. It's Harold up the near boards. Now picked up by Semengo. Into open ice, cross ice feed that time for Mitchell Reed. Up ahead for Simons. Can't get it into the zone. New Mexico forces it and turns it back the other way. Back into the Bugs end. John Burnt tracks it back down. Backhanded up the wall for Willie Tremblay. He cycles it back far side for Mitchell Reed, who's going to lose the foot race that time, but it eventually bounces free for Simons. He overskates and almost lost at the blue line. Took a high stick that was not called. Now goes back below the goal line. Hodges has to play to the near side of the net. Wrapped around the boards, comes up the wall for Tremblay. Tremblay sticks it to the middle. Jasser goes off the edge of his stick, then he gets it right back. As New Mexico gave it back to him. Jonah, the captain, over the line right side. Gets knocked off the puck, squirts into the corner. McGilvery sends it up the far boards again. Flipped it out to center, and a huge hit behind the play as Jasser knocked an Ice Wolf down that time into open ice for Adams. That is own blue line. We'll wrap it around the boards into the offensive zone. Waiting for it is Tremblay. Sends it back around the near side. Up the half wall. It's played towards the blue line by Lopez Corsi for a moment. Now Tremblay up top for Owen Case. Right point. Kaser fires one that got blocked and went off of Gabe. Case gets it back. Fires one for the top of the right circle. That's turned aside. Jasser tracks it down in the far corner. Jonah with it. Skates up top to the blue line. Toes the line. Turns and fires one high slot. Tremblay got pushed into the goalie Silverberg that time. Goes back up top again. High slot. Gerhardt fired one. Turned aside by Silverberg that time. And Tremblay in a good battle. He's doing some cross checks in front of the net. Off the bench, Nandor will pick it back up and retreat back into his own end. 14:50 left in the third. Up ahead for Gerhardt. Offside was washed out. Up at the point for Nandor. Wrapped back around the boards. It's Hoagland trying to backhand it towards the net. Picked up by Moskvitan. He'll flip it up the near wall. Back out to center ice. Glove down by Remy. Nice play there, but now it's eventually played by Malashev. Cut down the slot. Nandor got a piece of it to spin it over to the wall. Comes back out to center ice. D to D it goes. McGilvery will launch it in. Goes off of Earl, but still gets into the zone. Bugs will lift it off of the glass. Kicked in by McGilvery for a moment. Now it comes down. They'll have to tag up, and Hodges was coming out of his net to play, and it went off of the middle part of the stanchion, and now the Bugs are offside going the other way. Tried to get it quickly for Gerhardt, but he couldn't stay onside. Whistle stops time here at 14:12. Like reminded to this third period tonight, powered by Delta Utilities. Know what's below. Call 811 at least 48 hours prior to digging any projects. That's Delta Utilities, proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Face off to center ice. Looks like Vinny Giulio is going to take it back for Griner, but it's stolen away by New Mexico, and Andy Earl into the zone. Icing is washed out. Into the corner it goes. Picked up again eventually by the Bugs. Back up to the blue line. Bickler with a big drive. That stopped in front. Gibbons backhanded through the blue paint. Puts it just wide of the far post. Hodges never saw it with all those screens in front. Behind the cage, and Ice Wolf gets knocked down. Bugs get the puck. Starting to break out at Giulio. Spins around a defender right on top of the goal line. Lifts it out to center ice. It's Jared Griner. He's got it through the Wolf logo at center. He'll dump it into the corner. Picked up eventually by Sean Smith. Wraps it back into the far wall. Picked up now by McGilvery. McGilvery up to center ice for Nyan Pye. At the blue line. Pass across. Earl high slot. Rebound for Gibbons. Tried to one time, and Hodges got a piece of it to knock it away. And now John Burnt back the other way quickly. Johnny over the line. Splits the D. Into the corner it goes. Far wall. Wraps it around the boards. Comes near side for Tremblay. At the left hash marks. He's knocked down off the puck. Puck squirts behind the goal line. Eventually picked up now by New Mexico. Ice Wolf starting to center. It's Hubbard who dumps it in for the red line. Owen Case shoves him into the wall as Evan Adams races after the loose puck. Far side. Wrapped around the boards near side. Owen Case looking over his shoulder at two defenders coming at him. He went the foot race to the puck. Leaves it off for Evan Adams. And Birchfield takes the check, but leaves it off for Evans nonetheless. Up ahead now for Tremblay. Goes back into the Bugs end. Now it's Evan Adams again, the righty stick. Cutting down the slot, looking for a play. Evans got 11 points this year. Had a great chance there. Shot went just wide. Picked up by Tremblay. Down to the left circle. Jasser into traffic. Big drive. One-time shot. Gets turned aside. Another great stop by Silverberg. Goes back out to center. Jonah Jasser picks it up. 12 and a half to go here in the third. Bugs are getting some good offensive pressure. They just got to turn that into goals on the board. But Silverberg has been a big threat in net thus far this year, all year for New Mexico with a .916 save percentage. And he's played really well. He seems to turn it on against the Bugs. I'll play it for Noah Tang and over the line right side. Dropped off for Evan Hoagland as he steals it away. Up ahead for Duke Earhart. Earhart dances to his right. Into the zone. Over the line. Into the corner. It goes far side. Tracked down by McGilvery. McGilvery knocked off the puck behind the cage by Gerhardt. Earhart comes in for some help. But eventually it's going to be New Mexico who starts it the other way with 11:57 to go. Rifled in from the center. Red line. Big hit there. Knocks an Ice Wolf into the Bugs bench. And the referee got knocked down away from the play as well. He's gingerly skating over along the near side. Now it's up ahead for Earhart. Duke it over the line. Down the slot looking for a play. Had no help. Now he's got Gerhardt trying to feed it for him. A tip on the doorstep. Goes through the blue paint, but it's pushed back out to center ice. And Silverberg makes another big stop against the Bugs. as he trying to make the comeback here, down 3-1 with 11:29 to go. Here's Hoagland, far side. Over the red line, now over the blue, cuts down the slot. He fires one, kick saved by Silverberg. Comes back up towards the blue line, high slot, it's Wolf Talby. Along the near half wall, wraps it around the boards, far side for Sprung. Will rifle it out to the blue line, but not out of the zone as Burnt will hold it in. Goes back in the corner for Sprung. Wolf Talby comes in some defensive help. Bugs were on a change. Now the Ice Wolves will flip it out to center ice, and this is going to go for icing. And it just squeaks by the net, and John Burnt went to footer ice. So louder Bacon Company icing call with 11:01 to go. I'd like to remind you that Johnny's Pizza House is a proud corporate partner of your Mudbugs, as well as Porter's Industrial, who's been delivering the difference for Mudbugs hockey. Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, providing all kinds of great services for your company: floor mats, uniforms, and facility services. Porter's Industrial, proud corporate partner of your Mudbugs, and been delivering the difference for both Mudbugs hockey and Shreveport for 50 years. Locally owned as well. So go out and support your local businesses when you're making your next purchases back at home. Here's Owen Case, who lifts it from the blue line towards the net. That's a stop for a whistle with 10:53. And now a cross check away from the play. Bugs got to be careful here. You don't want to go short-handed. And that should bring us to immediate timeout once everything is settled down here. 10:53 left to go in the third. We'll take a timeout back in a moment here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill.
Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey fan, this is William Alexis Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and on Mudbugs Audio Network with Zach Grant and Duncan Walker. Now let's get back to the action. Let's go, Bugs.
Fireplace Specialties, the proud corporate partner of Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplaces, gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantles, and grills. They've got it all. Located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties, your fireplace headquarters. 10:53 left in the third. Bugs trail 3-1. Offensive zone draw coming up to the near side this time. Bugs have the shot. They got 25 shots on goal. Here's Tremblay right off the draw. Big shot saved by Silverberg. Bounces far wall again. Picked up and banked out to center ice. Evan Adams will track it down to his own blue line. Works off to his right. Around a couple of defenders. He brings it quickly into the zone. Down to the bottom of the circle. Behind the cage now. Still with it. Going coast to coast here. Slides it up to the point. Can't get it there. And it's blocked away by Harold. And comes back out to center. Harold feeds it ahead for Pye. Pye over the line. Hits the trailer in the slot. Earl fires. One time for Pye. Set it off the side of the net. Had a great chance trying to one time that on the near side, but he pushed it wide. Tremblay up ahead. Glove down at center ice. Andy Earl will pick it up. Slap it into the Bugs' end. Nice move there. Up ahead it's Tremblay trying to catch the Ice Wolves on a change. Bugs were on a change as well. New Mexico was offside. Linesman's yelling at Gibbon to get back on side. Now up ahead, it's Earhard into the offensive zone. Far corner, undercut, and it's stolen away. Mexico lifts it off the glass, but not out of the zone. Poloni will pinch and hold it in with his right skate. Eventually turned back over. Earhard toes the line, stays on side. Lifts it off the glass behind the cage. It's Grayson Gerhardt trying to rush after it. 9:42 to go here in the third period. 3-1 to score. Ice Wolves on top. Flip down. This is going to be icing. Another offensive zone drop coming here for the Bugs. Again, tonight it's not been a lack of effort in this third period. 27 shots in total to New Mexico's 30. The faceoff's going to be now to the far side here. Look, it's going to be Evan Hoagland to take it. Got John Burnt waiting here at the top of the zone at the blue line, but it's eventually played by Sean Smith. Wrapped around the boards, Grayson picks it up in the corner. Gerhard works up towards the blue line, now turns and fires it in. Couldn't get it deep, though. They went off an Ice Wolf and back out to center ice. Grayson tracks it back down, tried to retreat into his own zone. Just barely came over the line as Petkovic is yelling at the linesman, but that's a nice call for offside. Stops time with 9:19. Neutral zone draw coming up here in the third. Bekovic still giving it to the linesman all the way back to the bench, but Bugs tried to clear. That was Gerhard. He backhanded it, came out of the zone, and Bekovic brought it back in with his winger offside. Face off here right in front of the Bugs bench. Tied up off the draw. Liam Wolf-Talby controls. He gets tripped up into the zone. Comes the puck. Behind the cage. It's picked up now by Harold. Harold wraps it around the boards far side. Liam Wolf-Talby will pinch after it. At the half wall, back up top for John Burnt. Right circle. Big drive that time. It's flipped up into the air. Mitchell Reed picks it back up. Wolf-Talby corrals the puck. Bounces around there. DiUlio tries to save it at the blue line. He can't. Up ahead for Tang. Tang knocked off the puck by Mitchell Reed. Tang gets it back, squirts on net. Hodges has to kick it aside. Mitchell Reed picks it back up, backhands it up out of the zone to center ice. 8:45 and rolling here in the third period. 3-1 Ice Wolves on top. Bugs have been much better offensively in this frame, but they got to try to get one past Silverberg, which has been a tough task all season long for everybody, as then John Burnt gets run over behind the play. Bugs are on a change, and the Ice Wolves will blast it back into the zone. Birchfield picks it up below the goal line. Settles it now behind the net. Quarterbacking the play as he sends his deep pair around. It's now picked up behind the cage. Birchfield skates back up to center ice. It's Owen Case with it. Lefty stick, blast a headman pass that Semengo can't play. Icing washed out. Birchfield won the race to it. In the corner now it's Semengo through his skates. Back up the wall. Sprung will turn and fire it. Goes off of the boards but not out of the zone. Jasser holds it in. Now it's held in again. Right point, it's Adams. Down low. One-time shot goes through the blue paint. Comes back in the near half wall again. Great chance for the Bugs once more. In the corner, Semengo trying to work it free up the boards. New Mexico steals it away. They'll flip it out. Owen Case will glove it down to his stick. Now Evan Adams has it to the right of the circle. Drops it back into the Bugs end right in front of Tyler Hodges. Jonah Jasser dances off to the right around a defender. Now he cuts down the slot. Tried to split the D. Lost the puck. And now it's almost turned over by New Mexico. They have not looked sharp in this third period. Ice Wolves usually play fundamentally sound hockey, but this final frame, they've struggled as well, as the Bugs have at times in this game. Up ahead now for Edberg. It was all the way back down. Icing is washed out. Bugs will play it again. It's Remy Pusateri. Changes direction off to the far side behind the net. 7:10 to go. Third period. Thrown cross ice to the near side. Up ahead for Hoagland. Ticks it down. Up ahead for Earhart now. Right circle. Backhand shot saved by Silverberg. And the Bugs are going to get an offensive zone draw after a media timeout. 7:01 left to play in the third. 3-1. Ice Wolves on top. Back in a moment here on the Bugs Broadcast Network.
Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Fireplace, gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, mantled and grills. They've got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport or on the web at fireplacespecialties.net. Once again, that's fireplacespecialties.net. Fireplace Specialties is your fireplace headquarters.
This is Alexis Tremblay, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Mudbugs Hockey is brought to you by Johnny's Pizza House. Let's share a slice of the best pizza in town. 7:01 left here in the third period. Bugs trail by 2. 3-1 our score. They got the opening goal from Grayson Gerhard, and then New Mexico followed up with 3 of their own to make it 3-1 and take the lead. And they're looking for a series sweep this weekend. Bugs trying to at least take a couple of points out of the weekend before they head back home on Tuesday night against the Lone Star Brahms. 7:11 p.m. puck drop for St. Tommy's Day, St. Patrick's Day, and our owner Tommy Scott's birthday combined as well. So be sure to log on to tickets.georgiaspond34.com to get your tickets here today. As the faceoff comes far side now, offensive zone for Evan Hoagland. Hoagland jumps the draw, trying to get toward the net, got knocked down. Andy Earl picks it back up far side, and Earl will bank it off of the kick plate to center ice, and now it's given away down the slot. Losing an edge here is Gibbons rather. Now goes off the boards for Earl. Went off his back, and he lost it, overskated it. Now Evan Adams picks it back up. Behind the cage, dances around Gibbons. Now gets shoved off the puck as he goes tangling into the corner. Now it's flipped up the wall by Pye. He took a hit, and it looked like his stick hit himself in the face. Now it's Owen Case. Far side, Bugs starting to break out. Down center ice, it's Hoagland. Off to his left. Into the offensive zone. Down to the bottom left circle. Looking for some help. Throws it towards the middle. That goes down to the far side where Reed will play it off of the bench. It's Gerhart. Right point. Looking for a play. He's going to fire. It goes off of a man in front. Got knocked down with a high stick. Bugs touch it up. Neutral zone face-off's going to be on the other side of the whistle here with 6:11 to go.
You know, Zach, you mentioned that game on Tuesday against the Lone Star Brahmas on St. Tommy's Day. You know, we got so many ways for our fans to save money, including the Go Green Beer Twig ticket package, 2 tickets, 2 green beers, 2 beer Twigs. By the way, love those. 2 boxes of George's Pond popcorn for $60 using the code TWIG. That's TWIG at tickets.georgespond34.com. And I'll get the rest of those ticket deals later as the Bugs win the faceoff. They dump it right on into the New Mexico zone as it gets on out.
Flipped up the wall to center. Mitchell Reed goes D to D. Now it's Simons near side. He cuts through the middle logo. And over the line comes Simon. Down to the bottom of the left circle. Crashes towards the net. Now works behind the cage. Still with it. Up top, one-time drive. Stop. Wolf Talby tried to one-time the rebound. That one got turned aside as well. And it's flipped off of the linesman by Petkovic. And him and the linesman have been brawling here in this third period. Still complaining about that offside whistle. Looked like a good call to me. Here's Simons left side. Into the zone. Knocked off the puck. Couldn't split the D. Silverberg will play it. Over to the wall. It's Hubbard. Goes off of the referee on the clear. So the Bugs will hold it in. Comes far side now for Erickson. Wrapped around the boards up top for Poloni. He'll backhand it towards the wall, but not deep enough. Now he gets it back. Fires one. Gloved out of midair. And Silverberg. Interesting decision to glove that one there. That was going well over his head, but he makes the save nonetheless and hangs on with 5:17.
I mean, nothing wrong with that decision by Silverberg to glove it down. I mean, it stops the momentum of the Bugs, but yeah. And of course, those other ticket deals for the Tuesday game. Family 4-pack, $44 using the code FAMILY at tickets.georgespond34 gets you 4 tickets, 4 pregame skate passes, and 4 bags, boxes, whatever have you, of that oh so delicious George's Pond popcorn. $44 using the code FAMILY at tickets.georgespond34.com. And we'll do the face-off again.
Looks like the Ice Wolf center again unhappy with the linesman, but now it's one back. Quick drive right off the face-off of Ryan Barrett. Gets turned aside. He gets it back far half wall. Sends another one on net. Kick saved by Silverberg. Up top for Adams. Now he'll work it down into the far corner. Behind the net to the left side of the offensive zone. Up top for Owen Case. At the point. His shot is paddled to the side. That was another one that looked like that was going wide as well, but Silverberg played it. Flip back out to center. Up ahead. Rifled in that time by Birchfield. Wrapped around the boards, comes near side. Picked back up by the Ice Wolves. Wrapped around the boards, up ahead for Sprung towards the blue line and just barely out of the zone. 4:44 left here in the third period. Ice Wolves up by 2. Chipped into the zone by Birchfield. Lifted out to center. Back to their own blue line. It's picked up eventually by Jonah Jasser. Jasser, left side, into the zone. Fired one wide. Picked back up far side now by the Ice Wolves. They're wrapping around the boards in the defensive end. Back out to center ice over Burnt Stick. Now it's Fairbanks. Righty stick into the zone. To the circle. Fired one. Pushed aside by Hodges. Big stop there by Tyler. He's been big in net tonight. As Duncan, while you were gone, I was kind of talking about it. Giving up 3 goals on 30 shots, and 2 of them weren't even really his fault. As it's played by Sprung. Back up top. Left point. Big drive there. Stopped by Hodges again as he steps in front of it. Baird grabs the puck, and he will hesitate. Now gets it up for John Byrne at center. Tries to pass it to himself off the board. Gets spun around there. He gets it back anyway. At the hash marks. Tried to feed it down the slot for Griner. That goes wide of Griner's stick. Tremblay got a piece of it before Fairbanks starts it out. Fairbanks, left side, up ahead, down the slot, pushed wide. It went off the stick that time of Edberg, and we're going to get a penalty here. Slashing the call coming up on the Bugs, and now behind the play, Sprung gets tangled up that time with John Byrne as they will extend some forearm shivers, but looks like John Byrne was the guilty party on the slash, and now the Bugs are going to be shorthanded down 2 goals with 3:41 left. That's not a time to take a penalty there.
No, it is not, and I don't know if they're going to show the replay of it, but at least with my eyes, and again, my eyes aren't always the best, it looks like, it had looked like the stick of Nyan Pai, at least, okay, now they're going to show the replay here. Yeah, so gets it on in, 2-on 0, and then Nyan Pai's, okay, I see, yeah. He did slash him a little bit, I'll admit.
So Andy Earl, right side, offensive zone. With the Ice Wolves on the power play for almost or over half of the rest of regulation. So this is a pretty precarious situation for the Bugs here at 3:33 left here in the third. Far corner, it's wrapped up on the boards. Mitchell Reed will shove a man off the puck. Again played now by Liam Wolf Talby, give it away. Another Ice Wolf gets knocked down. Puck squirts towards the net. Remy will flip it out of the zone. Can't clear it again. Held in by the Ice Wolf. It's Gibbon. Right point, fires one. Hodges can't glove it cleanly. Earl was in the crease, and now everybody just kind of falling on top of each other as the Bugs clear it down with 3:09 to go. Here being outshot just by 2 shots. Comes up the near wall again. Brought in over the line by Smith. Cuts to his left. Fires one. Missed it wide. Got his own rebound. That shot goes through the crease. Hubbard tracks it down. Near corner. Leaves it off for Gibbons. Bottom of the right circle. His shot turned aside. Gets it back, though, does Sean Gibbons. Tries to spin off a defender. That's Adams. He got a piece of him. Now up top again towards the blue line. Left side. Off the side of the net. Rebound comes out in front. Hodges goes through his legs, but he was out of the crease, so thankfully it stays out. Sent up top for Fairbanks again. Right point. Snaps it across left point for Smith. Smith down low into the left corner. 2:29 and rolling third period. Bugs shorting it for another 46 seconds. Now they got to get it out. Let's see if they go for the extra skater 5-on-5. We'll see. Bugs can't even get it past the red line. Now it's finally dumped in. Earhart chases after it with Silverberg out of his crease to play it. Wrapped around the boards, comes near side. It's Fairbanks. Turned it over right in front of his net, but Nyan Pye was there to cycle behind him. Pye up the near wing. In over the line right side. Hits the brakes at the hash marks. Sends it back up top for Harold. Harold into the slot. Now snaps it left side. Back up top for Harold. Toes the line. Right circle. One-time drive by Sprung. And a big save by Hodges as he sprung to his left to make the save with a minute 53.
Oh, absolutely. And, I said it back in the second, but I'm going to say it again here. Puck like glove, like middle to magnet. Tyler Hodges able to keep this only a 2-goal deficit, but it is late. So obviously once this penalty expires, barring anything from the Ice Wolves, get it going. And before we get back going, I want to say big hello to Mudbugs insider and longtime Mudbugs fan, Matt Nelson, watching the game back home. And we'll do the face-off again as Remy sends a check to Hess. Hello.
That's fun. A lot of violence going on out there now.
Well, I mean, in the words of the announcer from the Mighty Ducks, if you can't beat them, beat them. But
you see there, referee was yelling at Remy, and Remy was yelling at him like if he dropped the puck, would have hit him after the whistle. Again, the word I used while you were down there, they've been meticulous on face-offs this weekend. And it goes on net, and Silverberg will hang on for a whistle with a minute 44.
And 4 seconds left on that Johnny Burnt penalty. So you get the feeling if the Bucks win a face-off, they're obviously going to want to get something going here, as I mentioned, because, you got a minute 44 here left. Or, I think, at least, let's look at it here. I think they're either going to call Bernie back to the bench, or they're going to bring Tyler Hodges right out as soon as the puck drops, or, yeah, they're going to bring him right out. Actually, they're going to bring him out right now. All right. Now goes Willie Tremblay, the extra skater.
Let's say, because then he comes out, now you've got 6-on-5, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you win the face-off,
yes.
That's what you got to do. 4 seconds left on the penalty to Bart. He's going to race right into the offensive zone, I would imagine. But New Mexico controls the face-off. And they'll lift it out of the zone, and somehow it doesn't go into the roof. This is going to go for icing immediately, though, as Tremblay is going to win the race to it. Stops time with 95 seconds, and now another ozone draw coming up for the Bugs.
Yep, just got a minute 35 left. Just pound it, pound it, pound it towards the net of Jackson Silverberg at this point, because you know what? Even if you can't get a clean look on goal, a rebound can do wonders, especially with this much time left.
Face off right side of the ozone, controlled by New Mexico, and the Bugs can't save it. It goes all the way down. Nowhere near the empty net, though, as John Burnt picks it up. Minute 25 to go. Bugs down by 2. Up ahead for Jasser. And it goes on net for Silverberg, who covers up, and Jasser's going to stare down Moskvitin that time, who sent a little cross-check his way, and another offensive zone draw coming up here. Got to do it again. I got to win the face-off. Offensive zone, Hoagland's in the ticket. Evan's been big on face-off, but Charlie has been the main face-off man. Yeah. Interesting to see him not out there right now. And a critical face-off here. It's Hoagland, though, to take it, and it's tied up off the draw, eventually controlled by New Mexico. They'll bank it off the boards, back out to center ice. John Burt will save it away from a couple of Ice Wolves, and a quick entry by the zone, or into the zone by the Bucks that time, but it comes back out. John Burt picks it up, minute and 7 seconds left, so this is turning into potentially an El Paso situation here with a minute to go. 2 goals in the final minute. Goes off of Silverberg. Comes near side for Sean Smith. Smith wraps it off the boards. John Burt will kick it into the zone. Zone away. Launched down towards the empty net. This is going to be no icing. It's waved off. Into the corner it goes. Hoagland will win the foot race to it. Wraps it around the boards. Comes all the way back up. Into the zone. Left side again. Eventually wrapped around the boards. Comes far side again. Towards the blue line. New Mexico can't clear. Held in by the Bucks. 33 seconds to go. Tremblay, left point. As the buck gets knocked down there, centering feed for Earhart, doesn't connect. It goes all the way back down into the New Mexico bench and out of play. And they're going to put the face off at center, though. They'll say it went off the Bugs with 23.5 to go.
Yeah. Just gotta get something on going here. Tomahawk chop at I'm not gonna lie, I get the meaning behind it, but interesting choice of music. Actually, I think I said that the last time we were in this building, but
it's not a cultural thing here. They're not Braves fans or Seminoles fans. Who else does it? I'm trying to think, but 23 seconds left, neutral zone draw. The Bucks got to get a quick one here. It's Wolf Talby quickly into the zone. Nice toe drag to stay on side. His shot pushed wide. 18 seconds to go. Tied up along the wall, and Erickson's just got to hold on to it. Bucks work it free. Now Sean Smith will put his skate against the board. 10 seconds to go. Wrapped up towards the circle. Adams fires one. Rebound for Birchfield. He got knocked down. And it comes back out to the blue line, but not out of the zone. But it's not going to matter. The Bugs are beat by the buzzer. And the Ice Wolves, with 3 unanswered, come back and take the Saturday victory. They sweep the Mudbugs here at the Outpost. And this is not the trip that the Bugs wanted to Albuquerque.
Yeah, not at all. And Bugs go off the ice. And, well, Zach, I've said it before and I'll say it again, 24-hour rule right now. And definitely got to look to that. And honestly, it's not even the 24-hour rule at this point. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost at this point the 48-hour rule because, of course, the Bugs go back home to Shreveport, get a day off, of course, and of course, a day of practice, and then game time right against Lone Star on Tuesday. So it's not only the 24-hour rule as of this game, but it's the 48-hour rule as a whole. And but as for tonight, though, one word and one word only comes to mind: turnovers. And that was the story of the Bucks' defensive game, turnovers. And I hate to sound like a broken record because I know I sound like one almost every other broadcast, but turnovers just stifled the momentum not only of tonight, but even last night. But I will say there are some positives out of this weekend. For one thing, Tyler Hodges able to come up and, especially tonight, keep the score what it was in the second. And then, of course, Grayson Gerhard with his goal back in the first. Those were some of the positives out of tonight. Of course, the effort is always a positive, especially if you look at the shot counter, 32-31 in favor of the Ice Wolves. So it's not like the effort isn't there. It is. But, obviously effort has to translate to the goals. But in saying that, though, there are still some very crucial games, especially, again, as I say, broken record. But that's all I got, and we're gonna head on to break here.
All right, we'll take a quick timeout. Back in a moment. Nikki's wrap-up show on the other side.
Congratulations! You kept a plant alive another day. You deserve a refreshing reward. Introducing new Whataburgers from Whataburger. You finally returned a text. Thumbs up emoji. You hung up a shirt. You changed a light bulb. You walked the dog around the whole block. Attaboy, it's treat time. The new prickly pear raspberry Whatafresher from Whataburger.
An icicle treat for every small feat. What a burger.
Down Home Meats is a proud corporate partner of your Shreveport Mudbugs. Whether you're grilling outdoors looking for a hearty or flavorful sausage for breakfast, a gumbo platter, or anything else, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasion. Once again, that's Down Home Meats in the Stonewall, Louisiana area and available at all major grocery stores. Down Home Meats, the perfect old school smoke flavored sausage and doing old school sausage the way it was meant to be.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
For the big, small, short, tall. For the thinkers and the doers. for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Hey, this is Tyler Hodges, and you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network with Zach Grant and Duncan Welker. Now let's get back to the action.
Not the night the Bugs wanted here as we welcome into the Nikki's wrap-up show, brought to you by our friends as always, Nikki's Mexican Restaurant. Don't drink the waters. Try our margaritas today. 3-1 the final score of this one. It was a 1-0 Mudbugs lead off a Grayson Gerhard goal before 3 unanswered. So we'll take you back through our game summary. Grayson Gerhard, 9:33 mark of the first period. It was his 14th goal of the season. Evan Hoagland got his 24th assist. At the 6:59 mark of the first, Sean Gibbons tied it up at 1-1. 2 unanswered goals in that second period, which the Bugs would not recover from. Brock Fairbanks at the 13:32 mark, his 17th of the year. Jeremy Sprung, his 14th at the 5:55 mark of the second. And that is where we stand. Final score 3-1. Not the trip the Bugs wanted. They were in 5th place heading into the weekend. They needed at least a couple of points. Unfortunately, come away with 0. And, well, Oklahoma, despite what the out-of-town scoreboard said during our right before third period where the game had gone final, according to what I saw, apparently they tied it up late in the third period, and now they're in a shootout. So Oklahoma is going to get a point. So if they lose in the shootout, they'll tie the Bugs for that 5th place spot, and Oklahoma does hold the tiebreaker over the Bugs, so they would take over 5th. We would sit in 6th. If they win the shootout, well, they have an outright possession of 5th place, up by 2 points. So, and it looks like a big save that time for Oklahoma against Lone Star. So things are going to be interesting there. And the Bugs don't get any help either because the other out-of-town score in the South Division put Corpus Christi on top. So not the Saturday night the Bugs needed standings-wise.
No, absolutely not. And just watching the game here on NATV, like we mentioned, of course the Bugs got no help from either side of things. It looks like it's going to come down to the last shooter for the Lone Star Brahmas here. And like I said, as for tonight, the effort was there, as you could tell, 32-31 shots in favor of the ISO. So it's not like the effort wasn't there. And even the third period was obviously miles better than the first as we're watching here live. And it looks like Oklahoma, if that wasn't just a lone save, I believe they might get the win. But I think that is probably just a lone save. But no, nonetheless, Zach, I think tonight's game can just be defined by, like I said, one word and one word only: turnovers. Because the turnovers not only killed the Bugs last night, but it killed them tonight, especially on that third goal there, right down in front, over to our left. Grayson Gerhard turned it over right in the slot, and it just led to that New Mexico goal. That was the brace goal for the New Mexico Ice Wolves. So, and just taking a quick look down here on the Lone Star Oklahoma game. So, nothing definite yet. But, no, as for tonight, I think the Bugs need to have a better defensive showing, especially Tuesday, against these Lone Star Brahmas. Obviously, a improved offensive effort. Because, this weekend we were able to get, 4 goals on the weekend? So that's not a bad saying of things. It looks like Lone Star just scored in the shootout there. So we'll just stay right here just in the meantime, and now Oklahoma's getting ready to shoot. But, yeah, that's just where I stand in terms of tonight. And so, of course, as for Tuesday night's game against the Lone Star Brahmas, although it looks like there's going to be an equipment delay as head equipment manager for the Lone Star Brahmas, William Klein, fixes Leo Gabriel. So while we wait on that, let's tell you about the ticket offers for Tuesday's game against those aforementioned Lone Star Brahmas. The Go Green Beer Twig ticket package: 2 tickets, 2 green beers, 2 beer twigs, and 2 bags, boxes, what have you, of that oh-so-delicious George's Pond popcorn for $60 using the code TWIG, that's TWIG, at tickets.georgespond34.com. Now into some others. There's some flash ticket sale offers happening up until March 16th. So you got today and you got tomorrow. From 6 to 7 p.m., bronze, silver, and gold level tickets will be discounted to our group rate prices. Please put the ticket type you'd like in the promo code box before you select your seat. So if you want bronze, use the code bronze. If you want silver, use the code silver. If you want gold, use the code gold. And those aforementioned prices are 10, 12, and 18 respectively, using those codes at tickets.georgespond34.com. And, of course, the always fan favorite family 4-pack ticket sale, $44 using the code family at, once again, tickets.georgespond34.com. Gets you 4 tickets, 4 pregame skate passes, and 4 boxes of that oh-so-delicious George's Pond popcorn. Again, using the code FAMILY. And if you need more tickets, call us at 318-636-7094. And then finally, one last ticket offer. 2 tickets, 2 wine glasses, and 2 bags of popcorn. The Lucky Ladies ticket package for those 21 and older using the code LUCKY at tickets.georgespond34.com. And, of course, you can pick up your wine glasses if you use that promo code package offer at the table in front of the box office. Those are for Tuesday's game against the Lone Star Brahmas. It's St. Tommy's Day. Of course, as we mentioned, it is the not only St. Patrick's holiday, but it is also the owner, Tommy Scott's, birthday. So the good news is, Zach, final score out of Oklahoma 4-3 in favor of the Lone Star Brahmas. So as you mentioned, in the standings-wise, Bugs will be tied with the Oklahoma Warriors going into Tuesday night. But that's all I got to say, Zach. I got to head downstairs and help finish up the packing on our way back to Shreveport. So, as always, ladies and gentlemen, do good, be good, and as always, claws up, go Bugs. Zach, set us home.
Bugs are going to hit the road back to Shreveport tonight. They'll be again back in action Tuesday night, 7-11 puck drop for St. Tommy's Day against the Lone Star Brahmas. Come on out and join us. With that game, the Bugs drop to 23, 21, 3, and 5 overall. Tyler Hodges gets the loss for the second straight night. He sits at 15, 13, 2, and 5 overall on his season. With the win, New Mexico sweeps the weekend, 33-16, 3 and 1 mark on the season. They get ever so closer to the Lone Star Brahmas at the top of the division, looking to host that first round bye. It's going to do it here for us tonight. Bugs had a good effort in that third period. First 2 periods kind of let them down a little bit on the turnovers. 3-1 our final score in favor of the Ice Wolves after 3 straight unanswered goals. For Duncan Welker, the rest of the crew, I'm Zach Grant saying good night and good hockey. We'll see you